truck and crossover event featuring new 18 Silverado double cab LTs. Power lease, $259 per month lease.
Power price, $32,490.
New 18 Silverado crew cabs. Power lease, $429 per month lease.
Power price, $36,490.
Over 170 Traverse, Equinox, and Trax available. With 12 going on 13 years of year-over-year sales records, Schottenkirk knows how to sell Chevys. Schottenkirk Chevy, Waukee. Chevy, find new roads. WaukeeChevy.com. Schottenkirk Chevrolet's Power Price Truck and Crossover event featuring new 18 Silverado double cab LTs. Power lease.
Here's to everyone who believes in competition and good sportsmanship, who knows it's not about the trophies or the medals, but rather the lessons learned. For those who understand, it's not whether you win or lose, just that you give your best. So go ahead, lace them up, take the field, have fun, and play. For the experience, for the memories, for the love of the game. Shields.
There's no doubt about it. Saving feels great. At Mid-American Energy, we love saving too. Saving the environment by supporting tree planting, which improves air quality. Saving money by investing in wind energy, which keeps rates low. And saving you energy by providing tips to help make your home more energy efficient. Which means you can take those savings and put your energy into having fun. Saving definitely feels great. So does being obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Building a strong community doesn't happen overnight. It takes a vision for the future, the ability to turn a challenge into a success, and individuals who inspire new generations of growth. Greater Des Moines has done a lot of growing over the years, and so have we. At Brick Gentry Law, your success is something that we create together. Thank you for making us a part of your community. Thank you for 50 years.
We might not always know what the day will bring, but some things are certain. The sun will rise and your lights will go on. That's because at Mid-American Energy, we're obsessively, relentlessly committed to providing you energy when and where you need it, to connecting with you and keeping our communities safe and strong. Because the most important thing we put our energy into is you. We're obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
And good evening and welcome to Valley Stadium as Dowling takes on Centennial of Ankeny here tonight in week 4 of the high school football season. My name is Mark Amadale. I'm joined by John Chido, who'll be on the Dowling sideline tonight. And of course the coach in the booth, Matt Maindring. He rejoins us after having a week off and enjoying some time last Friday. First thing, weather conditions. It's a beautiful night, but it's about 85 degrees. And Matt Maindring, that's good for maybe a basketball game outdoors, but not for these football players.
Yeah, you know, and it will play a role in tonight because we haven't had that many hot nights, hot, humid nights, and the humidity really takes something out of the players as they're going through the night, and especially when you haven't practiced in that type of environment for a while. But, you know, we have some depth, so I think we'll be in good shape. It really shows in the offensive line. That's where you really have to watch for that.
Now we're going to be watching the line play tonight. We're going to see a lot of rotation, and depth will be a part. John Chido, you're going to be down on probably the coolest side of the field. That'll be on the field instead of up here in the press box where it's about 100 degrees. But depth will be a big part of it tonight, and field position. Anytime Dowling and Centennial have matched up, Centennial's beaten Dowling once, and that was last year during the regular season. The Maroons won the semifinal game, but anytime these two teams match up, field position is big, and so has been special teams.
Oh, exactly right, Mark. Special teams, field position was a huge play 2 years ago when I remember a Dowling Ankeny Centennial battle where I don't think we crossed the 20 in the whole first half because we were pinned inside the 10. And Dowling trailed that game and then came out, got the ball to start the second half, went on a great drive, and was able to flip the field position with great special team play and good defense. So it was a good outcome for Dowling when those things happen.
And for Centennial this year, Matt, they posted 2 shutouts on the season. They shut out their they shut out their crosstown rival Ankeny 20-0 in game 1, and then shut out Urbandale 41-0. Then last week traveled to Waterloo West and won 49-7. So here's an Ankeny Centennial team coming in, giving up just 1 touchdown on the season while averaging 36.5 points. That'll be something for the Dowling defense to be tested on tonight.
Yeah, we're going to be tested. You know, we haven't actually dominated a team yet on offense. We've been very good at taking advantage of the mistakes that the other teams have made, and so it's going to be about ball control consistency. You know, I think Ankeny's Centennial's offense has as much to do with their defense as anything, because they are a very ball control, grinded out offense. And when you do that, it takes the other team out of rhythm, and it gives your defense the advantage because the other team starts pressing because they only get the ball for a little bit. They got a 3 and out, and then right back into their offense again for another 10, 15, 20 plays. So both feed on each other very well, and they've done a really good job of getting their program to the top level.
Well, they've won their first 3 games as Centennial. They're undefeated at 3-0, ranked 5th. Dowling, on the other hand, John Chido, well, they faced 3 ranked teams in their season: Waukee, Valley, and last week #1 Johnson. The Maroons winning 27-0. So Dowling's defense has come to play, especially the last 2 of the first 3 games. In that loss to Valley, they were just out in the field too long.
Yeah, exactly right. I mean, with the shutout last week against Johnson, 21 to 27-0, and then after coming off a hard-fought defensive battle, which it was in the first half against Valley, Valley had some special plays that happened to go their way off of turnovers in the second half, but that still was a defensive ball game with the low score of that ball game as well. And then first game against Waukee, they got off to a great start offensively. I think that's the key tonight, is if Dowling can get off to a great start rhythm-wise with their fluent offense, and they want to go quick, and that's very important to do for them.
It'll be a tough night with the weather conditions. Game time temperature will be in the mid-80s with the heat index up near in the lower 90s, so that could be a question. Now, we'll go back to the keys of the game, and Matt Maindring offensively for Centennial. They run that, I know you don't like to use this in the coaching terms, but the broken bone, broken wishbone, wing tee type offense where they have a fullback and 1 or 2 tailbacks in the backfield. Kind of looks like the old wishbone, and either quarterback Seversike will go under center or he'll be out of the shotgun. And the question is, where are those 3 speedy backs for Ankeny Centennial tonight? Gates, Cahill, and Godwin. Tough to find. Godwin coming off an injury, didn't play last week. It'll be interesting tonight how Dowling handles that.
You know, they really set things up for Gates, and Gates has some of that explosive energy out of that backfield. The real key is, the thing about this offense that it does to a defense is you have to be key oriented. And most kids want to follow that fullback. So that fullback's going to go to the right, and sometimes he's going to lead, but then all of a sudden their big plays come on that double lead when they send the fullback in one direction and then bring that lead blocker, either a tailback or pulling a tackle, and then run the running back up in behind him in the hole. And what happens is that backside linebacker leaves his spot. He goes to that fullback and loses where he's at, and it creates a seam, and that's what they take advantage of.
And they certainly have. Coach Pizzetti's run that for many, many years. 51 years at Ankeny, 6 now at Centennial, and 45 at the old Ankeny High. John Chido defensively for the Ankeny Hawks, or for the Centennial Jaguars, Lane Prusner, Lucas Pieper, Caden Bullwinkle, and Tyler Rogers. There's the defensive leaders, but Scott Daup has been really playing well. You'll see number 6 kind of playing as an edge linebacker. He's very active, and Coach Wilson will mention this in our pregame show in his interview that I had with him. He talked about Daup being a guy that's all over the place for Ankeny Centennial.
Yeah, it looks like they run a 3-4 defense, so the linebackers are obviously, with that type of defense, are good on their feet to be able to cover the spread offense that Dowling will want to run. Linebacker play is very important, and with him playing well, that's going to be a big key for Ankeny Centennial tonight. I would see, our Dowling Catholic try to spread Ankeny out a little bit and run Jason Murray to loosen up that defense. The last 2 weeks we've seen 7, 8 guys in the box at times. I think you'll see 6 guys in the box for Ankeny to start the game, and they'll bring that free safety down as well and put the 7th man in the box. So I'll be eager to see how Dowling Catholic is able to block those different types of schemes and those different types of looks they get tonight.
All right, you're listening and watching the pregame show here on Iowa Catholic Radio. We're live from Valley Stadium. Mark Amadale, John Chido, Matt Maindring. We're also with the Central Iowa Sports Network, as Central Iowa Sports Network is webcasting tonight's game, Pete Tarpey and his group, so you can watch and listen on our simulcast tonight here on Iowa Catholic Radio and the Central Iowa Sports Network. We'll take a break. We come back. I caught up with head coach Tom Wilson, talked to him about tonight's game with Centennial, and talk about the Dowling team this week, how things have went since the win over #1 ranked Johnson last week. You're listening and watching Iowa Catholic Radio's coverage and Central Iowa Sports Network's coverage of Dowling Catholic football here on the Iowa Catholic Radio and the Central Iowa Sports Network.
Every month or so, there's another story in the media about when and how often we need to get our mammograms. Kind of confusing. When this happens, I like to consult with experts. So I called Iowa Radiology. They recommend women get an annual mammogram starting at age 40. They know that it's the best way to detect cancers early and save lives. And that's good enough for me. Visit iowaradiology.com or call to schedule your mammogram. Iowa Radiology, our focus is your good health.
Why do I look for the seal? It's about trust. Whether I'm buying a car, hiring a contractor, finding a tax preparer, or an honest mechanic, the Better Business Bureau seal means this business meets high standards. When I see the seal, I know I'll get what I pay for. No more taking chances and no more worries. And I feel good about supporting local businesses. My life is so much easier knowing I can always trust BBB accredited businesses. It pays to look for the seal. See for yourself.
Hi, Ron here, head coach of Westside Auto Pros. When your car's on the injured reserve, you want to get it back in the game as soon as possible. I know that. That's why you need to bring it here to Westside Auto Pros. I have a team of experts that can fix almost every automotive injury. Whether it's a fractured joint, a brake, or if your car just got its bell rung, no problem. We can even do a complete physical on your car to make sure it's game ready for the entire season. So bring your car to Westside Auto Pros and we'll get it back in the starting lineup in no time. Hey, you guys are dogging it back here. Let's move it, move it, move it.
Miss your hometown clothing store? The one that had it all? Everything to get the work done, all in one place? G&L Clothing is your hometown Iowa store. Stop in and see us, or we're only a click or phone call away. Family owned for nearly a century. G&L Clothing, 1801 Ingersoll, Des Moines.
G&L Clothing, your size, your style, we've got it all.
As the Maroons, who are now 2-1 on the season, take on Ankeny Centennial night here at Valley Stadium, and it's the first game here, second home game, but first one here at Valley Stadium. And Coach, it's homecoming and Athletic Hall of Fame week, so it's been a very busy week. Welcome to the show, and congratulations on the win last week.
Thank you very much. Certainly a big week for Dowling Catholic being homecoming and the Hall of Fame, and we certainly welcome them back, and looking forward to a great game tonight.
Well, Coach, you talked last week on the pregame show a little bit about the character of this team. Now, who's going to step up? What's the identity of this Dowling team this year in 2018? Well, I think you found it, and you found it early, leading 20-0 over a team in Johnson that was had all these accolades, and yet you guys took care of business, went up 20-0 at halftime, added a touchdown in the second half, and really just made Johnson one-dimensional.
Well, we did, and that was the big part of the game plan. I thought defensively we were outstanding, and we got a good drive early, and then, as you mentioned, got the 20-0 lead, and I thought we scuffled a little bit in the second half. Their quarterback, they had taken him out of the ball game, and I thought we let down a little bit. But in the first half, I thought we did some great things, and then we ended up scoring late in the second half to make it 27-0. But all in all, I thought our kids came back and gave a terrific effort, and I think there's a lot of things that we can still get better at. We seem to shoot ourselves in the foot at times with penalties and things like that, and so we can still get better, and I think that's the exciting part of it.
We saw the game stats after the game, the time of possession, and you had that Johnson defense was out there quite a bit and really kind of wore them down. Saw that more in the second half as you started getting your other kids in the ball game, but wearing the other team down, that's a big thing. And even though you had penalties and whatnot, you really won the possession battle and also kept the Johnson offense off the field.
Oh, we did, and they have playmakers, and Peyton Williams is 6'6", and Coleman is certainly a threat, and their quarterback's a threat. So we certainly respected that offense, but I thought our defense really did a great job of playing hard, rallying to the football, and one of the things I thought was noticeable was doing a great job tackling.
Visiting with head coach Tom Wilson before tonight's game. It's Dowling and Ankeny Centennial here at Valley Stadium. And, Coach, as you went into halftime leading 20-0, what was the challenge in the second half for this group? Because you took care of the first 24 minutes of the ball game, but always finishing. And it seemed like with the injury to the Johnson quarterback, Nord, who was a returning starter from last year. That really took them out of their element, and they were forced to play catch-up. But I thought your defense, for the second week in a row, played outstanding. A little bit different than the Valley game where they weren't out there as much, but they really made some plays, and they really stepped up. This is a defense that doesn't have as many starters as on the offensive side of the football for Dowling.
Completely agree with you. I thought that they competed the entire night, and really our message was it doesn't matter what the score is, we have to finish the ball game, and I don't think we did that as well as what I think we should, and I think penalties had something to do with that. But to your point, I think our defense has been very consistent and played well, and there's no superstar on that defense, but there's a lot of good kids that have played some very good football for us, and we're going to have to continue to do that, and tonight brings a whole new other group of challenges.
I thought most of the game you went with Zach Waters at quarterback. You had Zach praying there a little bit, but you went with Waters, and he seemed to be catching on and moving the chains and keeping the offense intact. Is that something you're going to look at in tonight's game against Centennial, or just go with the sharing the quarterbacks?
Well, I think Waters will get the share of the reps, and we're going to see how that goes. And there's a lot of things that we can do better on offense, and it's not only quarterback play, but Murray carried the ball 32 times and didn't have a full week of practice because he had been sick the week before, and that's really too many. So we've got to be more balanced, but in a game like that, you just go with what you think you do best, and for us, that was Jason Murray.
And Coach, final question in this segment. Last week, who graded out well? I know we had a couple of the players on, Max Bay and Krieghauser on our post-game show, but who graded out after the coaches sit down and break down film that maybe didn't get the mention on the radio or in the newspaper from this Dowling team in your victory over Johnson last week?
As you said, defensively, those guys have been tremendous, and Bay and Krieghauser are really proud of their effort. And I think Scholes and Collins get overlooked a little bit just because they're inside there, but they've really been very solid for us. And Ryan Adam continues to do a tremendous job. So really defensively, I think, as I've mentioned before, we've been very consistent. And so then offensively, Tegan Johnson got a little bit more, a few more reps this past week, and will continue to do so. I thought Alger had stepped up his game and played much better, and Nank, I thought it was the best Nank had played. So I certainly want to mention, the nice catch that Jack Lyman had along the Johnston boundary, which I thought was something we've been asking for, is just kids to make plays.
Visit with head coach Tom Wilson before tonight's game. Dowling and Ankeny Centennial here at Valley Stadium. It's homecoming and Athletic Hall of Fame inductions going on tonight. I'll be back with head coach Tom Wilson. We'll talk about tonight's opponent, the Ankeny Centennial Jaguars. This is Mark Himadale, and you're listening to Dowling Catholic Football here on Iowa Catholic Radio and the Central Iowa Sports Network.
The other guys, they think they know what special means. At Godfather's Pizza, we do special, and we do it better. We add the T. There's a Godfather specialty pizza with your name on it. Classic combo, all meat combo, hot stuff, taco, yeah, even veggie and more. All of them piled high with the best toppings and 100% real cheese. Treat yourself special. Order specialty pizzas from Godfather's Pizza.
You want to get stronger, faster, healthier. You want more. You want to be part of something bigger than yourself. A place for people of all ages, all walks of life, that provides opportunities for all to succeed. We do that. We're the why. Build more than muscle. Build a stronger community. You want to get
per month lease.
Our price $32,490.
New 18 Silverado crew cabs. Our lease $429 per month lease.
Our price $36,490.
Over 170 Traverse, Equinox, and Trax available, with 12 going on 13.
Coach, tonight you take on Centennial. Head coach Jerry Pizzetti, the second winningest coach in state history, going against him and his son Ryan, and it's always a great matchup. Last year, Dowling was successful against the Jaguars in the Dome as you beat them 44-7 in the semis, but lost the regular season matchup by 3. So this is a Centennial team that they just kind of plug along. They do the same things, and even though they're in their 6th year of existence, they've been doing the same thing, and that is winning ball games and kind of grinding games along.
Yeah, they've done a great job. You know, the names changed, but really the philosophy of everything they do remains the same. And this week, as much as anything, you have to be focused. You have to be disciplined. We can't freelance defensively because, you know, the big play can happen. They got us a couple of times last year, especially in that first ball game, where I don't think we were as focused as what we need to be, obviously with some of the big plays we gave up. So we're going to have to do a great job. Their defense has given up 1 touchdown the entire year, so that brings a whole new set of challenges for us. So it's something we're looking forward to. We've got great respect for the Pizzettis and the program, and looking forward to the matchup.
And of course, this is a unique matchup because they run that broken wishbone type of offense. They play physical. Their linebackers are always around the football on the defense, but offensively, you got to find which speedster has it, and they really emphasize the track at Ankeny Centennial. They got 3 running backs that can run. The trouble is you got to find them, and talk about the difficulty and the preparation for Centennial this week, Coach.
Well, it is, and a big thing is simulating it and in practice, and I really think our scout team guys, our coaches have done a great job of putting that group together as good as I can remember. So hopefully that helps us, but you really can't match their speed, and it may take us a while to get used to that. It usually does, but it's really pretty tough, and I think we're going to have to do a great job of gang tackling, but it's assignment football, and the speed of it, as you mentioned, their athletes that they have back there, and they haven't passed the ball a lot, but yet that's kind of the element of surprise for them.
Well, it certainly is. And you started on the offensive end at quarterback. Garrett Severside started the regular season game against you last year due to an injury to their starter. The starter ended up starting in the semifinals, but Severside's kind of a veteran, and he's in his senior year, and he's running this offense with Avery Gates, Tyler Cahill, and another running back, number 32, Gabe Godwin, who was shaken up last week, expected to play tonight. Those are 3 guys you really got to find, and then you got to go through their offensive line to find them if you're on the Dowling defense.
Yeah, they've got a good offensive line. I think they really do a nice job. Brady Peterson is one of their tackles who they like to run behind. And you mentioned those skill players. Gates has nice speed just like his brother did that we faced the last couple of years. Godwin, as you mentioned, didn't play last week, but we played against him a year ago, and Cahill scored against us a year ago. So we're pretty familiar with them. Then they've got Breeding, a big tight end. That I believe this will be his 3rd year starting. So they're not without talent and certainly some weapons.
Coach, offensively for Dowling, attacking the Centennial defense, and that's led by Logan Niels and Lucas Pieper, defensive end, and Pieper and Niels, the linebacker. And talk about that matchup, what it's going to be like for Dowling to find some running room with their outstanding defense.
They're very active on their defensive line. They're going to move their front a lot. They're not huge up front. Really, the Daup kid, their Will Backer, number 6, we think is very active. They do a great job with their secondary. Rogers, I think he'll be a 3-year starter for them, number 11. He's really the veteran of the crew, and so it's going to be a good challenge for us, but we're going to have to do a great job up front, secure the ball, and make plays.
Coach, finally, it looks like the injury list is getting a little bit shorter. You got kids that are cleared to play tonight. I think you just have the one permanent injury, and that's Rude, who was lost in the season game 2 against Valley. That's always good to get that injury list reduced and have those kids out in the field.
Yeah, we're a little bit better. Lenhart's, we've got him back a little bit sooner than what we expected, so he would be available if we need him to snap. As you mentioned, Rude done for the year. Mason Heckman is done for the year as well, and so it is getting a little bit shorter, but hopefully we can keep it that way.
All right, Coach, best of luck tonight. I know there's a lot of people in town being homecoming and Athletic Hall of Fame. Great program at Dowling this afternoon for that. See some of those athletes come back and maybe enjoy homecoming week. I know it's a kind of a pressure on the coaches. Got a lot of activities you're monitoring, the dance tomorrow night, but it's been a pretty good week.
It has, and as a coach, you always worry about that. As an AD, it's terrific with the Hall of Fame and really homecoming itself. So I'm looking forward to the ball game. Appreciate everybody coming back out, and congratulations to those entering our Hall of Fame, and looking forward to it.
Coach Wilson, thanks for visiting with me, and we'll talk to you during the game at halftime and on the postgame show. Thanks.
All right, thank you, Mark.
Head Coach Tom Wilson has been my guest here on the pregame show. It's Dowling and Ankeny Centennial coming up. Matt Maindring and John Chido rejoin the broadcast from Valley Stadium. This is Mark Amadale, and you're listening to Dowling Catholic Football on the Iowa Catholic Radio Network and the Central Iowa Sports Network.
Of year-over-year sales records, Schottenkirk knows how to sell Chevys. Schottenkirk Chevy, Waukee. Chevy, find new roads. WaukeeChevy.com. Schottenkirk Chevrolet's Power Price Truck and Crossover event featuring new 18 Silverado Double Cab LTs. Power lease, $259 per month lease.
Power price, $32,490.
New 18 Silverado Crew Cabs. Power lease, $429 per month lease.
Power price, $36,490.
Over 170 Traverse, Equinox, and Tracks available. With 12 going on 13 years of year-over-year sales records, Schottenkirk knows how to sell Chevys. Schottenkirk.
We might not always know what the day will bring, but some things are certain. The sun will.
It's time now for Dowling Catholic High School football, Central Iowa Sports Network. CISN.TV is Iowa's premier source for live-streamed high school football. High school football on CISN.TV is brought to you by Atlantic Bottlers, Schottenkirk Chevrolet, Shields, the Better Business Bureau, G&L.
Valley Stadium, West Des Moines. Mark Amadale alongside Matt Maindring as we get set for kickoff. It's Dowling taking on Ankeny Centennial, two top 5 teams in Class 4A. This is the final week of non-district football as it is week 4. Both teams open up with district play next week. Dowling taking on Ankeny for their opener, and Ankeny Centennial will be hosting Marshalltown at the Ankeny Northview Field. So Matt Maindring, final district game. Every game's important. We all know that as they kind of change the rules around a little bit for postseason. So very important game. And for Centennial, trying to knock off a top 10 team. And for Dowling, trying to continue their ways. They're 2-1 against top 10 teams this year.
Yeah, it's one of those games where each team is trying to establish, sending a message for the rest of the season. How are you going to run into your district play? And, both teams are looking for this game to propel them through the rest of their season. And, you get two top teams in there. You want to see where you're at and measure yourself up. So when it gets to November, late October and November, you know where you're at. And Centennial year after year is going to come and give us everything that that Dowling wants. And it should be a fun night tonight.
Well, it should be, Coach, and we'll go down to the field for a report. You know what? It's 86 degrees right now at game time. The humidity up there at 80%, and the heat index is even warmer. But John Chido, as I look down on the field, and you're on the Dowling sideline tonight reporting, I see nothing but shade for the players. How about that?
Yeah, the field is shaded completely, so that's keeping that sun out is a huge factor. So when you're in that sun, it's really hot, so that's not going to come into play tonight, fortunately, for both teams. And there is no wind tonight. This is the first night, week 4. We haven't had wind's not going to be a factor as of right now, Mark.
Oh, that's a good point, and we'll keep that. And of course, dehydration is a big part of this game. Matt, as you know from being a former coach, and obviously staying hydrated, but also kind of rotating players. A team that has depth, well, they're going to be playing those players in the fourth quarter, and that's kind of where, defensively you want to take control because, the offense, if you're losing, offense is going to try to catch up, but you want your best players out there in the fourth quarter, and especially with the game on the line, but you got to rotate a lot of players to get that done.
You do, and the thing about 4A football that differs from 2A football a little bit is you got separate units on both sides of the ball, so those kids do get a little bit of a break when the offense is on the field. The defense gets, but that also goes into play when we talked about earlier in the pregame about Ankeny Centennial's offense. They make the other team's defense stay out there for many snaps, and that does wear them down, and that usually takes its toll late in the third quarter and into the fourth quarter. So, a ball control offense like this, we always said we didn't care if we were even at halftime, we knew we were going to win the game because then we would have them wore down by then.
All right, Dowling just about set to take the field. Matter of fact, they are coming out of their locker room right now. Let's congratulate the Hall of Fame inductees. Had happened earlier this afternoon at Dowling. Connor Brevard from the class of 2011, along with Miranda Leak from the class of 2011. Congratulations to them. Blake Waller, the class of 2010, and Matthew Hawk, the class of 2013. Some of the Dowling Hall of Fame inductees, along with the oldster Eric Howe. Remember Eric back in 1998, he graduated, and what an athlete he was. They were all recognized earlier today, along with members of the 1968 Dowling football team, who will be recognized, I think, sometime in the first quarter, and if they can make it all down to the field. I saw a few of those guys, and Follett, O'Mara, and maybe Sonny Cadero, they might be able to make it down the field for their recognition, Matt.
Yeah, they were there for the last half of the day today, and were in mass with the kids after school today. So they are proud, and it's fun to watch. And I'm sitting there, you know, I was born in '68, and I'm looking at Coach Williams. I'm looking at Coach Williams and going, he has seen a lot of football.
Yes, 87 years young and still going strong, Coach
Yeah,
Jim Williams.
it's amazing.
He was our head coach. I also want to congratulate the homecoming king and queen this year. The king was Noah Smith, and I'm saying his name because pronouncing Giroux's last name is going to be a feature. Okoromoy.
I've practiced it a few more times.
Yes, you have. Giroux Okoromoy.
Yeah.
Congratulations to her, the homecoming queen at Dowling.
Yeah, two outstanding kids, and you know the kids always do a heck of a job of picking their own, you know, and we couldn't have two better representatives of the student body at Dowling Catholic than Noah and Giroux, and they bring life to the place, and two great kids.
All right, we're going to take a break here before kickoff. We're going to get a word from Dr. Dan Ryan, the president of Dowling Catholic High School, along with our pregame prayer from Father Zach Koski. We'll take a break, come back with the kickoff. It's Dowling taking on Ankeny Centennial here at Valley Stadium. Mark Amadale joined by Matt Maindring and John Chido. Coming up next is the kickoff here on Iowa Catholic Radio and the Central Iowa Sports Network.
There's no doubt about it. Saving feels great. At Mid-American Energy, we love saving too. Saving the environment by supporting tree planting, which improves air quality. Saving money by investing in wind energy, which keeps rates low. And saving you energy by providing tips to help make your home more energy efficient. Which means you can take those savings and put your energy into having fun. Saving definitely feels great. So does being obsessively, relentlessly...
Hi, Ron here, head coach of Westside Auto Pros. When your car's on the injured reserve, you want to get it back in the game as soon as possible. I know that. That's why you need to bring it here to Westside Auto Pros. I have a team of experts that can fix almost every automotive injury. Whether it's a fractured joint, a brake, or if your car just got its bell rung, no problem. We can even do a complete physical on your car to make sure it's game ready for the entire season. So bring your car to Westside Auto Pros and we'll get it back in the starting lineup in no time. Hey, you guys are dogging it back here. Let's move it, move it, move it.
And your lights will go on. That's because at Mid-American Energy, we're obsessively, relentlessly committed to providing you energy when and where you need it, to connecting with you and keeping our communities safe and strong. Because the most important thing we put our energy into is you. We're obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Miss your hometown clothing store? The one that had it all? Everything to get the work done, all in one place? G&L Clothing is your hometown Iowa store. Stop in and see us, or we're only a click or phone call away.
To Valley Stadium here in West Des Moines as we get set for kickoff. It's Dowling taking on Ankeny Centennial. As Ankeny Centennial won the toss, they deferred to the second half. Dowling will receive the football and they'll defend the north end zone. So Matt Maindring, any last-minute comments before we get set up?
No, I think this is a great high school atmosphere tonight. We got two outstanding football teams ready to go toe-to-toe, and we get first crack at it.
Yes, we do. Back deep for the Maroons will be Jason Murray. He wears number 2, along with Edward Thompson wearing number 8, as awaiting the kickoff by Centennial. As we got a beautiful night, as we mentioned earlier, 86 degrees, the heat index at 89 degrees. And here is a kickoff, and it goes angling towards the far sideline. It'll be received out of bounds at about the 23-yard line as the Maroons caught it out of bounds, and they'll have it 1st and 10 from there. John Chido will bring you in on the Dowling sideline. At least you're in the shade tonight, my friend.
Yeah. It's nice down here. You're up in the box there, where it's probably 20 degrees hotter, but you can't ask for the shade that's going to be a factor in the game. It's going to help keep that sun out, at least for the next 45 minutes or so.
Yeah, we'll see how the depth's going to be a big thing. Now they move the ball back to the 21-yard line. That's where Dowling will start, 1st and 10. And the quarterback is Zach Waters. He sends Man in motion and the inside handoff, and they fake it too. And that's Waters keeps the football. He faked it to Tegan Johnston. They had Murray going in motion left to right, and Zach kept the football, and he gets it up to about the 28-yard line. Let's see, they're going to mark shy of there at 27. Matt Maindring, a nice little read option that time by Zach Waters.
It was a well-designed play, faked it well, and good blocking up front, and that's a good way to start.
7-yard run for the Dowling quarterback, and on 2nd and 2, handoff goes right up the gut. Jason Murray, he picks up the first down up to the 40-yard line. That's a pickup of 12 yards and a Dowling first down, and they went right up the gut with Murray running that power.
Yeah, you know, Corey Prang made the stop there for the Centennial Jags, and great run by Jason. Had a nice alley that seemed to go through, and this is the pace we're looking for.
1st and 10 Maroons. They work out of the pistol. Zach Waters at quarterback. They give this to Murray. He runs right side, and now he's finally wrapped up and falls forward up near the 44-yard line, and he'll pick up 4 yards. They'll bring up 2nd down and 6 for Dowling.
I think, you know, Dowling's trying to get a little bit of a presence inside and out here. That one was they were trying to bounce Jason a little bit outside. Had Jackson Huber for Centennial on the tackle there.
Charlie Nank, Alex Curtin, Greg Hagan on the Dowling offensive line, along with Jesse Alger and Ryan Bowles. And now back to throw as Waters fires out. Pass is caught, and that's Tegan Johnson with the first down catch across midfield, and finally tackled in Centennial territory at the Jaguar 49.
That's one of those plays, I don't like to say this, but I think Dowling got that one from Valley a little bit. You get that fullback out of the backfield, it's hard to cover him, and especially on that bootleg action that we did right there, and Tegan Johnson makes a nice catch, and we got things rolling right now.
Johnson, a reception of 7 yards, first down Dowling from the 49 of Centennial. Now here's a handoff right up the gut is Jason Murray, and he's following his offensive line as led by Greg Hagan and the 2 guards, Jesse Alger and Alex Curtin, and they push the hole maybe for a couple yards down to the Jaguar 46.
I know you mentioned him in the pregame, Scott Daup. He was in on the tackle for Centennial there, and you know, Dowling's establishing that ground game, going to establish that ground game, and as long as they're going to get 4 yards here, then I don't see it going in the air too much.
All right, 2nd down and 7. Pick up a 3 that time for Murray. Waters sends Murray in motion right to left, and now penalty flags down, and we got a stoppage of play.
I think we had Coach Wilson didn't like the formation. I think we had a personnel issue there, and wrong personnel in for that formation, so he decided to call a timeout and get reset.
All right, good timeout called by Dowling. We'll keep it here. I want to remind you of our supporters of Iowa Catholic Radio. They include Ashworth Vision, Construction Professionals, and Dental Associates. We thank them for supporting our broadcast here on Iowa Catholic Radio. Now let's go down to our Shield Sideline report. They support the Central Iowa Sports Network. That's John Chido. And John, a nice pace to the game right now for the Dowling offense taking the opening kickoff.
Yeah, we talked about it in pregame about how Dowling wants to get off to a good start and want to go quick, and they did that. They spread Ankeny's defense out. We saw a quarterback power run by Zach Waters, and then Jason Murray gashed him up the middle for a couple nice runs there. And I think Ankeny has now rolled another guy up in the box, and they'll roll that safety down as well.
All right, we're back to live action. Thanks, John. And now Waters fakes the toss to Murray, and he's going to follow his big guard all the way down to the 40-yard line. He'll be about a yard shy of the first down, but he picked up 6 yards. They fake the toss left to Murray, and Zach Waters follows his big offensive line led by center Greg Hagan.
Yeah, you know, a nice little inside trap action right there, and everybody's concerned about Jason Murray, and the one thing that Zach Waters brings to it is he's a strong runner. He's got strong legs, and he can take that punishment.
All right, 3rd down and 1 for the Maroons. Hand off to Murray. He's got some room, and he's got a first down. Had a quick hole that opened up, and then he fell down right about the 38-yard line. Picks up 2, and it's a Dowling first down at the Centennial 38-yard line. Jason Murray a gain of 2, and he went right up the middle of his offensive line, so running that power between the tackles.
Yeah, for a minute there, it looked like he had a lot more space than what happened, but Liam Murphy and Jackson Huber closed it up for Centennial there. And but we're churning. You know, Dowling's churning the ball right down the field.
All right, Dowling with 3 receivers to the right is at the bottom of your screen if you're watching on the webcast. Now they fire it out to the left, and it's caught. That is Jack Lyman slips the tackle, picks up the first down, as he's inside the 30, and they're going to spot him down at the 25-yard line to pick up a 13 for the Maroons.
Yeah, we got a individual down for Centennial on the far sideline, so we're going to get a break in the action right there. It's one of those things. We were, Dowling's got trips to the right and one back set, and they were giving Lyman too much of a cushion, and they just took it right from him. They gave him a 10-yard cushion on that narrow side of the field, and it was an easy pitch and catch.
Trying to get a look at who the injured Centennial player is. He's right in front of the Centennial bench at the 25-yard line of Dowling, and of course Lyman goes over to check it out, and they're still working on him. He is upright, but he's still on the ground, so he's on all fours and just trying to get his. I think he had the wind knocked out of him.
I agree. It looked like he got rolled up in there and maybe got a knee to the stomach or something and knocked the wind out of himself. And there's no scarier when you're sitting there and you don't have your wind. There's nothing scarier than that. And I think the young man's going to be okay. Number 11, Tyler Rogers.
Yep,
is
he's
that what you had
there?
there?
And that's the 3-year starter that Coach Wilson was talking about. Tyler Rogers. He's also the backup quarterback, and he plays safety. 5'10", 108-pound senior. Gets up under his own power and walks off. Now Dowling with the first down. 1st and 10 from their own 25-yard line. Zach Waters at quarterback. Jason Murray in the backfield. The give is to Murray. Follows the block of Tegan Johnson. And he's hit and slammed down maybe a yard down to the 24 in Ankeny. Centennial crashed that hole and stuffed it right away.
Yeah, they had a little defensive stunt going on up front, and at first it looked like Dowling might have caught him because they had their defensive end looped inside, but what they did was it created a lane there for Scott Dalp, and he filled it and met Jason right at the line of scrimmage.
All right, the bottom of your screen, Connor Eibach, number 26, along with Edward Thompson are split out wide right of the formation for Dowling. Murray in the backfield along with Tegan Johnson. Waters at quarterback, and the give is to Waters. They run the short side of the field towards the Ankeny Centennial sideline, and Waters, after the handoff, gives it to Jason Murray, and he may have gotten a yard down to the 23-yard line, and that was it. Ankeny had that well read.
They did. Sometimes teams adjust, and I didn't quite see it. If you're running to the narrow side of the field, they will run their strength to the wide side. It looked like Ankeny did not shift there, and so that's one of those things that Coach Wilson looks at as he's testing out the waters and looking how their alignment's going to be against our offense.
All right, 3rd down and 8. Dowling gets a yard on each of the last 2 possessions. Back to throw Waters. Fires the ball out, and the pass as he's falling down is caught. 1st down Maroons. And I believe that's Lyman over there. He's at the 12-yard line for Maroon 1st down, a pickup of 11 yards.
Again, one of those situations, the Centennial's giving them way too much cushion. When you're this close to the end zone, at least that defender back there wants to play a little bit tighter to prevent that 1st down. They're giving Lyman plenty of room. He runs a quick little out, and Waters hits him right in stride on the cut, and that's a good way to keep this drive going.
Certainly is. 11-yard catch. 1st down, Dowling at the 12 of Centennial. Now the handoff, give it to Murray, and he scampers down maybe to the 10. Tough going. That Ankeny defensive front really came to play tonight. Jaden Cooper, Kyle Gustafson, Lane Prusner, who's a two-way player, number 52 at nose guard, and Lucas Pieper, the defensive end, and along with Scott Dalp, number 6.
Yeah, that play, it looked like Logan Niels was in there and met Jason right at the line of scrimmage. And Jason's not very heavy, so when they get their hands on him, but you got to get your hands on him first.
You got to find him first.
Yeah.
All right, 2nd down and 8 for Dowling. And here's Murray, and he's going to go in for the touchdown. Jason Murray, touchdown, and boy, a real good misdirection by Waters. He carried out his fake to his left. Murray went over right guard and tackle and took it in. Made a move at the 5-yard line and beat the linebacker.
Take a little bit of Ankeny Centennial's own medicine right there as far as Dowling creating a little misdirection for Jason. You give Jason that much space, and he's going to make one guy miss, and he was able to do that at the 5-yard line and then took it into the end zone.
So Dowling takes the opening possession. They go 13 plays, 79 yards on the touchdown run by Jason Murray from 10 yards out. And now the extra point by the Maroons as the snap by Tom Nolan. The extra point by Carter Bumler is good. And it's 7-0 Dowling. We'll take a break with 6:47 remaining. 1st quarter. And it's Dowling 7, Ankeny Centennial nothing here on Iowa Catholic Radio and the Central Iowa Sports Network.
We might not always know what the day will bring, but some things are certain. The sun will rise and your lights will go on. That's because at MidAmerican Energy, we're obsessively, relentlessly committed to providing you energy when and where you need it, to connecting with you and keeping our communities safe and strong. Because the most important thing we put our energy into is you. We're obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
They think they know what special means. At Godfather's Pizza, we do special, and we do it better. We add the T. There's a Godfather's specialty pizza with your name on it. Classic combo, all meat combo, hot.
How you doing, Mark? Good. Good to see you. Very nice.
Back to Valley Stadium, the kickoff by the Maroons as into the end zone for a touchback. So Centennial will have the ball 1st and 10 from their own 20-yard line. Dowling leading 7-0 over Centennial. Let's go down to our Shield sideline reporter tonight for the Central Iowa Sports Network and Iowa Catholic Radio, John Chido. Maroons going 13 plays, 79 yards on Murray's 10-yard run there. John, for the touchdown.
Yeah, that was a nice cut by Jason Murray. It looked like the outside was clear and the defensive end rushed upfield and he cut underneath them and was able to get in the end zone. So, nice run by Jason.
Yeah, Dowling taking the opening kickoff, and now Centennial running their offense for the first time tonight. Quarterback is Garrett Seversyke, and the give is to the tailback in the backfield. And I'm not sure if that was Gates or Cahill.
Didn't quite get to either. Hummel on the tackle. Hummel had him on the feet there, and there, you talk about assignment football right there for Dowling defensively. That was. Everyone stayed in their spot and went to their guy that made the play. I believe that was to the fullback. That was a straight ahead. That was a dive play right there.
Yeah, it was straight dive play, and now they have one back in the backfield with quarterback Garrett Seversyke. He sends a man in motion. Seversyke back to throw, the left-hander. Steps up, now avoids a tackle. Nice fake, follows the ball downfield, throws it for a first down across the 30 up to the 32-yard line. Nice job by Seversyke with the catch by Blake Murphy.
Yeah, you know, and the defensively in the secondary, we had everybody covered at the first time, but he made a really nice play, the young man did in the backfield, get a pump fake, get that lineman to go by him. Ryan Adam in on the stop there after the completion for the Maroons.
12-yard reception, first down, Centennial. Line of scrimmage, their own 33-yard line. Centennial going right to left, defending the south end zone in their road white uniforms with silver helmets and teal numbers. Dowling in their maroon jerseys with white numbers. Now a little read option. The give is to Avery Gates. He tries to cut outside. He's finally slammed down as he turned the corner, got outside the right hash, and slammed down at about the 35-yard line, pick up a 2.
Yeah, Michael Keogh really showed his wheels right there. He ran, you know, line for line with him there across the line of scrimmage and made him run to the edge, which you want to do and prevents that from being a pretty big play, because if it wasn't for Michael, that ends up being a pretty good run for Gates.
And those guys have speed. Gates, Cahill, and Godwin, the three tailbacks for Centennial. Ben Breeding's the tight end, number 80. Now Seversyke, the left-hander. Where's number 18? Garrett, a 6'1", 185-pound senior, and the give is to the tailback, and that is Avery Gates, and he's hit and brought down as he made a couple yards over right tackle up to about the 38-yard line, gain of 3.
Yeah, Drew Peterson there for the Maroons makes the stop, and that one was an example of the play where they get that crisscross motion a little bit in the backfield and running some counter motion there, and again, assignment football. Drew stays home and makes the play.
And the receivers for Centennial, Blake Murphy, number 1, along with the tight end Breeding. Now it's passing situation. 3rd and 5 for Centennial at their own 38. Dowling leading 7-0. Here's a quick pass out to the near side. The pass is bobbled and incomplete. The referee says it hit the ground, and they're going to say Blake Murphy, when he caught it, it also hit the ground. So it's incomplete. It'll bring up 4th down.
He bobbled it twice, and he's scrambling to get control of that football, and as he goes to the ground, it was close. You know, it's hard to tell here with that official's right on top of it, and he says the ball hit the ground when he went in, and you got to have control of it before you go to the ground, and that did not take place there.
All right, Avery Knief in, number 45, to punt the football. He'll be standing at his own 25-yard line. And back deep for the Maroons is Matt Stillwell, I believe. And now here's a right-footed kick off the nice little spirally kick towards the right side. Angling out of bounds inside the 30. That's where the Dowling offense will start. As Stillwell will not have a chance to return it. That Ankeny offensive line, Trey Morris at center. The tackles, Brady Peterson, Tristan Hoy. And Lane Prusner, number 52, is going to be out there a lot. He's a nose guard and the starting guard for Centennial on both sides of the ball, Matt, and Ethan Frazier, the other guard for the Centennial offense.
Yeah, and that young man's got to be in shape. And
be able to do that.
Especially when you go up against the size of our offensive line. And, you know, it'll be interesting to see where they give him the breaks in the night. And, you know, when you have a talented athlete that can get out there and go both ways, that's a credit to the kid.
It certainly is. And we'll go down to John Chido here after this play. Dowling with the first down from their own 34-yard line. And now a little read option. They give this to Murray, and Jason Murray takes the ball from his own 34-yard line. And he gets a couple of yards. They're going to spot him down maybe. They're going to spot him down at the 35 for a gain of 1. It'll bring up 2nd and 9 for Dowling. Let's go down to our Shield sideline reporter. Talk about a guy who's in shape. That's John Chido.
That's right.
Thanks for that, Mark. But Coach mentioned this earlier. Michael Keogh made a nice open field tackle to regain because Gates had a lot of speed to the outside, and Michael Keogh adjusted and made a nice tackle.
He certainly did. And now here is Waters under duress as he goes back to throw. He had a couple receivers out there, but he was hit and dropped in the backfield by the Centennial Jaguars.
You know, I didn't pick the number up of the kid on the sack, but number 22, Caden Bullwinkle, came on a blitz off the left edge and forced the running back to pick him up and forced Waters to step up, and that created the pressure for Centennial to make that sack. So it puts us in a 3rd and long situation.
7-yard loss by Waters and the sack by the Centennial defense and Bullwinkle. Dowling with 2 receivers on each side of the formation. 3 minutes and 5 seconds remaining first quarter. Dowling 7, Centennial nothing here on Iowa Catholic Radio and the Central Iowa Sports Network as we stream and simulcast tonight. Waters, long count, has Murray in the backfield. Back to throw as Zach fires it out. Caught by Murray. Tries to get outside the number. Slips one tackle. Slips another. And finally brought down at the 30-yard line. So he'll pick up 2 and it'll bring up a punting situation for the Maroons.
Yeah, Jason got the ball out in space, and Zach, that's a nice read actually by Zach. You know, it's 3rd and 14, 15 yards, and he's taking the safe route right there by just giving it to Jason out in space, and maybe he can pop one, and it didn't happen, but, you know, nothing bad happened either.
That's the important thing is Dowling will be forced to punt, and I believe it's Avery Gates. It is, standing at his own 30-yard line, awaiting Carter Baumler's kick. He'll kick it from the 15-yard line, his own 15, after snapping the ball from the line of scrimmage. Is a Dowling 30. Low snap. Carter picks it up, and it's a high short kick, end over end, and takes a Dowling bounce inside and goes out of bounds right near the 40-yard line. So Centennial will have pretty good field position as the Jaguars will have it 1st and 10 from right around their own 41-yard line with 2 minutes, 1 second remaining here in the first quarter from Valley Stadium. And the Maroons' first time, they are home, but this is the first time they've been at Valley Stadium. They played their first game of the year at home on a home stadium. That was at Drake Stadium. Let's go down to the Dowling sideline. That hasn't changed. John Chido is down there. Johnny?
No, you're right. This is the first time that Dowling's at home at Valley Stadium. Different type of turf, but same. They play on this type of stuff every week, so they're fortunate for that.
Yeah, they certainly are. And now Seversyke with the bunch formation, and he gives it to, I think it was his wide receiver, Blake Murphy, was lined up in the slot, and Murphy just kind of puts his head down and gets behind the big bodies and maybe carries up to the 44-yard line, Matt, for a gain of 3.
Little jet sweep there, and Max Bay doesn't get a tackle on this, but he stood up the end and made the play bounce deeper than they wanted to, and then allowed the pursuit to get there and prevents that from being a big gain.
So 2nd and 7 for the Maroons. Or rather, Maroon defense, out there. The Jaguars are with 1 back in the backfield, and then the 2 halfbacks are behind the tackles. Seversyke reads the mesh, now on play action, wants to throw. He's going to get hit as he does, and he overthrew everybody, incomplete. And Seversyke took an absolute hit that time by Connor Krieghauser, the senior, hit him as he threw it, and he was in a very vulnerable position. Matt Maindring.
Krieghauser or Bay, one of the two. They got a good lick on the quarterback there, but we got flags down the middle of the field here, it looks like.
An ineligible player downfield for Centennial.
And the coverage was really good downfield. He didn't have anybody to throw it, and Seversyke did the right thing in just throwing it over the top of everybody because he didn't have anybody, and he was about to get lit up.
Yeah, and they're going to get Ethan Frazier, number 55, for Centennial. And Frazier's one of the guards, 6'3", 215-pound junior, for being downfield. So,
and I think Coach Wilson would be very happy right now if we're having Ankeny throw it on 2nd and long. That means things aren't going in their direction with running the ball.
So the penalty moves the Jaguars back 5 yards. 2nd and 12, Centennial, minute 15 remaining. It'll swing pass to the left side of the formation, incomplete. Tyler Cahill, the intended receiver, number 12. Seversyke again under duress, and he may have released that ball a little sooner than what he wanted to that time.
Yeah, they had a little screen action set up on the left side here to the wide side of the field, and Dowling was there to blow it up, but he did not have enough time to let that play develop.
So third down and 12 now for, and this will be interesting because Ankeny does not like to pass in these third down and longs.
You wonder how many times they've had thrown the ball 3 times in a row this year.
Not many.
It's about to happen.
All right, 3rd and 12 for Centennial. Minute 10 remaining, and now the read option. Seversyke will keep the football, and he's tripped up as he crosses the 45 and brought him down at the 46-yard line. Nice game that time by Seversyke.
Now the play was going a little bit long there. I think the ball came out, and there was a little scuffle there for the football. And they did not pass it 3 times in a row. So the odds played that way.
And Seversyke picked up 9 yards, and it'll be a punting time for the Centennial.
A little scramble for the ball there. That's what the crowd got excited for, and kids are working and trying to get control of the ball there at the end. He was called down at the spot of the tackle.
All right, it'll be 4th and 3 for the Jaguars as Knief in to punt. Number 45, he's a 6'2 senior. He'll stand back at his own 34-yard line. 30 seconds remaining. Dowling leads 7-0 over Centennial here at the final moments of the first quarter. Nice high end-over-end kick. And Stillwell let it bounce inside the 5, and it'll go into the end zone touchback. And that's where Dowling will have it 1st and 10 from their own 20-yard line with 19 seconds remaining. Here in the first quarter, Dowling with the lead 7-0 over Centennial. It's number 4 Dowling and number 5 Centennial tonight in a top 5 matchup. Let's go down to the Dowling sideline. That is where John Chido is at. Johnny?
Well, Nate Collins is having a ball game. He's putting pressure on that quarterback, making him, Ankeny Centennial's quarterback, making him throw it quicker than he wants to. 2 different times on that series, and that illegal mandate field, when you're running RPOs like they are, you got to throw the ball quicker. You're going to get called for that, and that's what happened to Ankeny Centennial.
All right, first down Dowling at their own 20-yard line. Maroons lead it 20-0. They go left to right for the final 18 seconds. And pass is incomplete as they try to pass on the left side, did Waters. Did a little play action back there, Matt, and he couldn't get his receiver. And I'm wondering if that might have been Ibach, the intended receiver.
Yeah, and they're really working on that left side. For whatever reason, Centennial is giving a big cushion on that left side of the field. And I don't know if it's a lack of a trust of a speed in their corner on that side, but Dowling is really focused on that because he's backing off and allowing the 7-yard pass to be completed.
The ball's right between the hash, and that's where the Maroons like to run. And here's Waters with it, trying to turn the corner, and he can't do that. Penalty flag down on the backside of the play, and so goes Waters. No gain of the play. Let's see what this is about. Usually when it comes to the referee, we may have a holding on one of the linemen, on the offensive lineman, and we'll get the call from our referee.
Holding. Offense number 77.
They're going to get Charlie Nank, Dowling left tackle, for the hold. He was leading the play there, Matt, and he's whistled for the hold. That'll back him up 10 yards.
Yeah, you got to credit Ankeny's defense right there because they were really stringing that play out. That play took a long time to develop, and we're running much more east and west than north and south on that, and then it gives those linemen more time to get the hold as well.
So moves the ball back to the 12-yard line, so it's 2nd down and 18 for the Maroons from their own 12-yard line. Final seconds of the first quarter, and the give is to Jason Murray. He squirts out of a tackle. He's at the 20, and he finally slammed down at about the 23-yard line. And that'll end the first quarter of play here at Valley Stadium with the score. It's Dowling 7 and Ankeny Centennial nothing. And we'll be back after this 1-minute break. You're listening to Dowling Catholic Football on the Iowa Catholic Radio Network and the Central Iowa Sports Network.
Stronger, faster, healthier. You want more. You want to be part of something bigger than yourself. A place for people of all ages, all walks of life, that provides opportunities for all to succeed. We do that. We're the why. Build more than muscle. Build a stronger community.
bbb.org/Iowa. Why do I look for the seal? It's about trust. Whether I'm buying a car, hiring a contractor, finding a tax preparer, or an honest mechanic, the Better Business Bureau seal means this business meets high standards. When I see the seal, I know I'll get what I pay for. No more taking chances and no more worries. And I feel good about supporting local businesses. My life is so much easier knowing I can always trust BBB accredited businesses. It pays to look for the seal. See for yourself at bbb.org/Iowa.
And welcome back to Valley Stadium, West Des Moines. Mark Amadale, Matt Maindring, and John Chido. And the class of 1968, the football team of Dowling, led by head coach Jim Williams, and they said that was his 4th year at Dowling. It's been recognized. They had the mythical state championship there, Matt Maindring, and they were all recognized down on the field. So shout out to them. They were at the assembly today.
Yeah, it's quite an honor to see those guys and to see the pride they walk around in the building, even though the building has changed. And it's not the same building, but the pride they walk around with is pretty amazing, and it makes you know, it gives you that extra responsibility that you have to carry this forward.
Joe Malsom, along with Chuck Follett, Tom DeCio, Sonny Cadero, Michael O'Mara, among many down there being recognized, the class of 1968. Now here's Waters back to throw, and he's hit, and he's dropped. And it's the guy that we talked about earlier in the game, Kyle Gustafson, the rush-in, makes the sack. That's the second time Waters has went down, and that was 3rd and 13. This will be 4th and 13 on the sack.
Yeah, he had a decent amount of time. He had some pocket protection there. At Ankeny, Centennial did a really good job in coverage. Didn't give Zach a lot of options, and the good thing for Zach there, I mean, he's going to take a sack, but he did not try to force something there in a situation to make something bad happen.
So Gustafson with the sack and Bullwinkle with the sack for Centennial here in the first half. 7-0 Dowling with the lead. We're just underway here in the second quarter. And now Baumler will kick from his own end zone, gets the punt away. It's a high end-over-end kick, and it'll be fielded at the 50-yard line and muffed for initially by Avery Gates, but he fell on top of it at midfield, and that's where the Centennial offense will take over. 1st and 10 from their own 50-yard line with 11:09 remaining here in the second quarter. Mark Amadale, Matt Maindring here in the booth. Let's go down to our Shield sideline reporter, and that is John Chido tonight. And Johnny, a couple of penalties in that last drive for Dowling, a hold and a delay of game really pushed the Maroons back and got out of their rhythm.
Yeah, you know, when you have 2nd and 20 and then you have a big run and you have 3rd and manageable, 3rd and 8, and then you get called for another 5-yard penalty and then the sack, it puts you behind the chains, and that's what Dowling Catholic does not want to be doing right now.
All right, here's Seversyke, and the give is to the second back through, and he's hit and driven down as the initial ball carrier coming through there was Gabe Godwin, who was injured last week with an ankle, and they faked to him, and they gave it to the second man through Gates.
Yeah, Nate Collins comes out of the bottom of that pile along with Levi Hummel, and everybody stayed home. Responsibilities were met and limited that to a 2-yard run.
Of course, they run that broken bone with the halfback behind the quarterback, and really Coach Pizzetti, what he's done, he's got his quarterback from under center to the shotgun. They still run the same wing tee type play or wishbone type play. All right, Seversyke with one back in the backfield. And he'll hand it to him and give it to him, and he's hit and dropped as he tried to turn the corner. That's Cahill, and he was met by a herd of maroon shirts as he tried to go around right end.
And Jack Keogh led the way there and ran through the alley and picked up the running back there and made a good stop out in front and puts him in a 3rd and long situation again.
3rd and 7, passing situation for Centennial. Up front for Dowling, Max Bay, Jack Schultz, Nate Collins, and Connor Kriegshauser. And the linebackers tonight, Michael Keel, Levi Hummel, Jack Keel, and Drew Peterson. Corners are Connor Jackman and Owen Schultz. And the safety is Ryan Adam, who last week had a fumble recovery and an interception. And we've got a timeout on the field. We'll take a 1-minute break. 9:49 remaining second quarter. Dowling 7-0 over Centennial here on Iowa Catholic Radio and the Central Iowa Sports Network.
Building a strong community doesn't happen overnight. It takes a vision for the future. The ability to turn a challenge into a success, and individuals who inspire new generations of growth. Greater Des Moines has done a lot of growing over the years, and so have we. At Brick Gentry Law, your success is something that we create together. Thank you for making us a part of your community. Thank you for 50 years.
We might not always know what the day will bring, but some things are certain. The sun will rise, and your lights will go on. That's because at Mid-American Energy, we're obsessively, relentlessly committed to
And we're back here at Valley Stadium as we were away at a Centennial timeout. Dowling with the lead 7-0, and a penalty
called on us.
On Dowling.
Yeah.
As Centennial snapped the ball, they did a little swing pass to the left of the formation to Cahill, and then the penalty flag, they actually killed the play, and they awarded a penalty against.
We moved first. It was tough to see whether or not we crossed the line of scrimmage, and then one of their players jumped as well, one of the Ankeny, and Dowling did definitely move first.
So it's 3rd and 2 Centennial from the 42 of Dowling, and Seversyke will keep the football, and he fakes the handoff.
It's going to be short.
To his inside running back, and that was Gabe Godwin. And then all of a sudden, he kept the football, and he couldn't use all of his 6'1" length to get the first down. It'll be 4th and 1, Matt, at the 41-yard line of Dowling for Centennial.
Yeah, and Coach Pizzetti didn't hesitate. He ran his punt team right out there on a 4th and 1, and showing respect for Dowling's defense, and Centennial's going to sit and play field position.
All right. Dowling has one man in the backfield, and now we got penalty flags down as Knief boots it, as Stillwell stands his own 10-yard line, as the punt was away by Knief, and they're going to wave this off. Let's pick up the penalty.
False start. Offense. 5-yard penalty.
False start on the Centennial offense. John Chowder, you're on the Dowling sideline. The Maroon offense, maybe an opportunity here to get some field position.
Yeah, I was surprised when Ankeny Centennial came out and they're going to punt the football on 4th and 1, and I was just talking to somebody on their sideline saying there's no way they're going to punt it, and sure enough they were, and then they got the penalty. Now they're definitely going to punt the football.
Yeah, they're on the Dowling 46-yard line with that penalty. It's 4th and 6 now for Centennial. Knief, the 6'2" senior, stands back at his own 40. Good snap. Knief gets it away. A line drive kick right into the end zone. I mean, it's going to bounce a couple yards in the end zone, and there'll be no return for Stillwell, and Dowling will have it 1st and 10 from their own 20-yard line. With 8:52 remaining in the first half, Dowling 7 and Ankeny Centennial nothing. Tonight is Athletic Hall of Fame and homecoming for Dowling Catholic. Congratulations to all the inductees. We mentioned them earlier. At halftime, we're going to talk to Connor Brevard from the class of 2011. And he was a football quarterback to Coach Wilson's first state championship team and Coach Jim Williams' first state championship team back in 2010. And Blake Waller, an outstanding golfer. And we'll talk to both of them at halftime, Mr. Mainring, while you check out, like my former partner, Mr. Marcouli, used to do, what's left on press row as far as the food cart.
I'll be watching the band. I'm excited to see the band. They finally get out there and perform. They haven't had a chance to this year, and tonight's their opening night.
Certainly is, and now Dowling with the first down from their own 20 and going nowhere, maybe a yard up to the 21-yard line. That Ankeny defense has been all over the place.
Yeah, Jaden Cooper right there, number 35 for the Jags. He did a nice job of getting to Jason Murray.
Dowling's been in the Bozeman red zone once tonight. Now an inside handoff to Murray. He slips a tackle, and he gets across the 20 to the 22-yard line for a gain of a couple, and it'll bring up 3rd and 8 for the Maroons.
Right there, Jason did a pretty good job of following Ryan Bowles, who was pulling on that play over to the left side, and then found that crease and got some of those yards back for the Maroons, and sets up a 3rd and 8.
3rd down now for Dowling. 3rd and 8 with under 8 minutes remaining in the first half. Dowling 7, Centennial nothing. The Maroons at their own 22. 3 receivers right. They fire to the left side. The pass is caught, and hit is Jack Lyman. He'll be shy of the first down. He gets out of bounds. They're going to say forward progress up to the 27-yard line. A gain of 5 will bring up 4th and 3 for the Maroons from their own 27.
Corey Prang out there, number 26 for Centennial, makes the stop. Lyman catches the ball 2 yards short of the sticks, and no yards after catch. None of those yak yards like they talk about on that one. And
Prongy hit him pretty good.
He did a good job there of making sure there was nothing extra on that play.
A couple of Ankeny families I know real well, the Prongys and the D'Angelos. And they're a good one. And Corey did a nice job there. And now Dowling forced the punt. Carter Baumler in. He'll stand it back at his own 13-yard line. 7.5 minutes remaining in the half. Dowling by 7. 7-0 over Ankeny. Centennial. Avery Gates stands back at his own 30-yard line. Here's the punt. And he'll take it into traffic, and he's hit and dropped right at the 32-yard line. Dangerous that time for Avery Gates, the junior, who does all their punt returns, and he caught that in traffic, and he did not have a fair catch.
Yeah, he might be getting a. They might have a discussion on the sideline after that play. Quentin Wellmaker for the Maroons did a really good job of of not interfering with him, because he was there about the same time the ball was, and allowed him to catch it and makes the tackle for no gain.
33 yards is where Centennial will bring their offense out, 1st and 10. John Chido, let's go down to you on our Shields sideline reporter.
Oh, this has been a defensive battle so far for both teams. Both defenses are playing very well. Not much of any yardage on both sides of the ball, and now Ankeny Centennial with good field position.
Yeah, they do. 1st and 10 from their own 33-yard line. They'll stay on the ground, will Centennial, and the give is to one of their 3 tailbacks, and at the bottom of the pile is the young man who was injured last week, Gabe Godwin, with the carry, and they give him yardage up to the 34 for a gain of 1 there, Matt.
Yeah, Jack Schultz in the bottom of the pile there for the Maroons, and they just ran it right into the line. Nothing fancy right there, and seeing if they could hit a crease. And so far, the Maroons defense has been standing pretty much like a wall up front.
Dowling took the opening kickoff and went right down the field as they scored in their first possession. Now Centennial, here's Seversyke with the man in motion. And fakes the man in motion to his left, now wants to keep it, and he's going to be hit and drop. Back at the line of scrimmage is where he actually had forward progress, but the Maroons were in the backfield that time, Matt Maindring.
Yeah, that was Jackson Filer there coming in off the bench and getting a sack on that. Again, good coverage downfield. They emptied the backfield with the motion, and we got pressure and didn't allow Seversyke to anywhere to go with the football.
So to bring up 3rd down and long for Centennial. This has really been a game of field position, although Dowling took the opening kickoff and went 13 plays and 89 yards, or 13 plays, 79 yards, excuse me. Now penalty flags down on this play. And let's see what this is all about.
Yeah, this is one when you get so much motion going in your backfield, so much is predicated on the timing in that backfield and the snap count. And right there, they had a guy twitching before the ball went. You can't have 2 guys in motion at once, and when they send that one guy in motion, everyone else has to freeze.
We're going to get Tristan Hoy for the Jaguars on the penalty. That'll move the Jags back to the 29-yard line, so it'll bring up 3rd down and 14 for Ankeny Centennial.
The last time they were in this position, they ran that quarterback draw, or they would run that screen pass to the outside there.
All right, Seversyke out of the shotgun. He's got man in motion left to right, and they'll give it to the fullback, and that is Gabe Godwin. And he gets across the 30, and they're going to spot him down right about the 32-yard line, and that'll bring up 4th down and long for Centennial.
Again, Filer at the bottom of the play. It looked like along with Levi Hummel. That was a team tackle right there, and people watching the game will say, well, coach just kind of ran it into the middle right there, Pizzetti, but he's really playing the field position game here a little bit too. Doesn't want to put his quarterback in a bad situation.
All right, into punt for Centennial is Avery Knief. He handles all the place kicking. Knief, the right-footed line drive, and it'll be fielded by Stillwell at the 30. He got a return set up at the 40, 45, and he's up to the 47-yard line. Nice return that time by Stillwell for Dowling Catholic. He caught the line drive punt right about his own 29, returned it up to the 47 of Dowling.
Yeah, it's a nice return because we were going after that punt a little bit. We had put some pressure up there, had sent some guys, and so there's not that. It doesn't provide you a lot of protection back there catching the ball. Matthew did a good job catching that and running straight up the field, getting many yards, and now we're in a field position situation.
No question about it, and of course the punt was a line drive, so you really didn't have, the lineman couldn't get downfield. Let's go down to John Chido before the snap here, Johnny.
Well, both teams, again, penalties have stalled drives, so Dowling Catholic, let's see if they can get a drive without penalties and get one in the end zone, because they have great field position to start this series, Mark.
They certainly did. And 1st down, Dowling gives the ball to Murray, and he cuts and slices his way, following his offensive lineman, Hagan at center, Curtin and Alger at guards, and he gets across the 50 down to the Centennial 49.
Yeah, he had a nice seam there. Number 11, Tyler Rogers for Centennial makes the play and gets him stopped, but after 5 yards.
2nd and 6 Maroons, pistol formation, high snap, but Waters corrals it, and they give to Murray, and he's taken down nicely that time by the Centennial defense, and that was Caden Bullwinkle, who you talked about earlier, had a sack on Waters. He made the stop there for Centennial.
Yeah, he came from the backside on that play and read the play well and made a shoestring tackle on Jason as Jason was doing what Jason does and cutting and trying to find a crease to explode through.
All right, the Maroons now with 2 receivers to the right. At the top of the screen is Colin Cook and Edward Thompson, the tight end on the right side. is Andrew Lynch, number 89. And now here is a handoff to Murray. Tries to find a seam. He's got the first down. He crosses the 45 of Centennial and brought down at the 41-yard line. And that was Jason Murray at his best there. He broke a tackle shy of the first down, but he found a way to get through that.
Yeah, and what set that one for Dowling was the fact that they were blitzing off the backside, and so that meant they were manned up on the play side of the ball, and so that allowed the receivers to man up on their blocking and gave Jason creases to run into, and Jason does what Jason does and exploded.
7-yard run, first down Maroons with 2 receivers now to the left. The ball on the Ankeny Centennial 41. They give us to Murray again, and he gets inside the 40. And may have fallen forward down to the 38 to pick up a 3 to bring up 2nd and 7 for Dowling.
Number 52, the nose guard, Lane Krusner for the Jags on the stop there of Jason. Our line is starting to get, all of a sudden we're getting that rhythm we haven't found since that first series.
This is the, that was the 4th straight running play for the Maroons when they started at their own 47-yard line. 2:45 remaining here in the first half. It's Dowling 7, Ankeny Centennial nothing. It's Dowling's homecoming and Athletic Hall of Fame, and recognizing the class of 1968 undefeated football team. Now a quick out pattern on the right side. Waters' pass is caught. And let's see, was that
that Lyman? Or
I
no?
think it's Jack, wasn't it? Matt
Stillwell.
Yep, Stillwell on the catch. That's his first catch of the night.
Again, on that backside, they're going to give that 5-yard out every time. And so we go trips one side, and we're single on the top side there on the narrow side, and the defender's playing 10 yards off and giving that 5-yard out every time.
Well, Stillwell with a 6-yard catch from quarterback Zach Waters. And it's 3rd and short. Dowling in a pistol formation. They'll put a man in motion, and that is Thompson. They hand it off, or actually they try to hand it off to Murray, and he's hit and stacked up, and the Centennial fans come to life on the far side. And they hold Dowling back at the 37-yard line, a loss of 5, and it comes up 4th down and 5 for Dowling.
Yeah, Logan Neals right there coming on a run blitz, and he about took the handoff before Jason got it. And
it looked awful quick, Matt.
It was quick, and he makes a heck of a play. And it's one of those where if we'd even got 1 yard there, I think Coach Wilson would have went for it on 4th down, but he's doing the same thing Pizzetti was doing, and we're going to punt the ball right here.
All right, Carter Baumler in. He'll stand around midfield. Minute 50 remaining here in the first half. Dowling 7, Ankeny Centennial nothing. And back deep is Avery Gates for Centennial. He stands at his own 10-yard line. And Carter is waiting. Well, he's going to let the play clock rather, run down, and they'll take the 5-yard penalty. So instead of 4th and 6, it'll be 4th and 11 for the Maroons. And penalties have been a big part of this game. That was more of an intentional penalty, just to run clock off there.
Yeah, run the clock off. You've got yardage with Baumler's leg. He's going to get it down there, and now he needs to channel his inner Matthew Hawk here and our Hall of Fame guy and see if he can pin one deep here.
Yeah, Matthew used to have that rugby kick, and he could boom it. Now he's doing the same thing now for the NFL Miami Dolphins. All right, here's Baumler's kick, a high kick. And this time we see a fair catch signaled for, and they'll let it go inside the 10. And Dowling's going to down and around the 10-yard line. Great job, first of all, by Avery Gates. He he put the hand up for the fair catch, but the ball went over him, and Dowling down it at the 11-yard line with 1:20 remaining. That's where Ankeny Centennial will start their offense. 1st and 10 from their own 11. Let's go down to John Chido on the Shield sideline report tonight from our sideline reporter, Mr. John Chido.
Yeah, big play for Ankeny Centennial on 3rd and short there with the blitz off the weak side there. It just stopped Jason Murray right in his tracks before he could get anything going. And now Dowling has pinned Ankeny Centennial deep in their own area with only 1:20 left in the first half.
Both teams with 2 timeouts remaining in the half, and now Seversyke, the inside handoff, and they give it to Gabe Godwin, and he runs a little misdirection. Seversyke was running to the right of the offensive line, and Godwin got it, and he ran to the left, tried to get outside the numbers, and kind of just angled out of bounds there, Matt, around the 14-yard line.
You know, and it's kind of a big deal that they ran him out of bounds there, and they're going to allows us to save a timeout and stop the clock, and if we're able to make 2 more stops, we're going to get 1 more look at the football here.
All right, so Centennial with a 2nd and 7, line of scrimmage is their own 14-yard line. Seversyke at quarterback, 1 receiver right, double tight end set. And the back's behind the tackles here with the 1 back, and they give it to Godwin again. And he's going to the short side of the field, pushes the pile near 1st down. He's going to be struck down right about the 19-yard line, so he'll be shy of the 1st down and bring up 3rd down and short.
Third down and short, and see if Coach Wilson calls a timeout here. It's going to be with a chance to get the ball back, or he's going to save it and let this play run down. So it'll be about 30 seconds left when they snap the football, and then it'll see if Dowling gets a chance to get the ball after the punt.
25 second differential between the play clock and the game clock as we're at 35 seconds remaining. 3rd and 1 now for Centennial. The ball on their own 19. Seversyk, man in motion, and he gives it to Godwin, and he's hit and dropped. And they're going to call timeout, I believe. Dowling will call timeout at the 20-yard line is where Ankeny Centennial has it.
Yeah, he was going to be a yard short. Defense did a good job there underneath the pile. Jack Keogh and Quentin Wallmaker there with the football, and we're going to get a chance to make them make a decision. The one thing about Centennial, though, they have good special teams. That's one thing that's been consistent over time for Centennial. They got a good field. They always got this good field goal kicker.
They certainly do.
Punter, and that's why they're successful too.
All right, we want to recognize our supporters of Iowa Catholic Radio's coverage of Dowling football in our 42nd year. And Kemet Industries, along with Mercy Medical, we want to thank them, along with Two Rivers Glass and Door. Our thanks to Joe, Paul, Peter, and all the folks there. The Catholic Tuition Organization and R&R Realty. Our thanks to them. And now for the Central Iowa Sports Network, let's go down to our Shields sideline reporter, and that is John Chido. Johnny?
Well, Dowling has the big stop there, is forcing Ankeny Centennial to try to it's going to have to punt the football, which you don't want to do at any time with 26 seconds left. Anything could happen, bad snap, something like that, and it allows for Dowling to set up a return and hopefully put some points up on the board here before the half.
Well, let's see if the Maroons can get a return. Stillwell back deep. Knight gets the ball away. It's a low line drive kick. Goes through Stillwell's hand. Now he kicks it down to the 30, picks it up at the 25, and now trying to avoid all the white shirts, and he's brought down at the 31-yard line. And that is where the Dowling offense will have it with 13.9 seconds remaining. So Knief got off a good punt, and the Maroons with not a good return that time, but nonetheless Dowling with a couple of chances here with 2 timeouts.
He kicks that line drive, and it's almost like that's a hard ball to catch the way that's coming at Matt there, and ends up retreating. And I have a feeling at this point Coach Wilson will probably play this pretty conservative. Now, if we'd had the ball at the 50, it'd be a different story.
That's exactly right. That's first down Maroons from their own 31-yard line with 13.9 seconds remaining. Reminder at halftime, Connor Brevard and Blake Waller will join me, and we'll talk to them about their days at Dowling, at least the ones they remember, and we'll talk to them at halftime, Mr. Maindring. You weren't their principal at that time.
No.
Back to throw. Waters fires the ball out, and it's caught by Thompson up to the 34-yard line for about a 3-yard gain. Clock winds down, and that might be the final play as Coach Wilson's not going to use his final timeout. And we're going to go to halftime with Dowling leading 7-0 over Centennial in a low-scoring field position type of game, which we kind of talked about may happen. John Chido's going to catch up with head coach Tom Wilson here in a moment. We'll get the Dowling coach's perspective as we go to halftime, and the Maroons leading 7-0 alongside Matt Maindring. I'm Mark Amadale, and let's send it down to the field. And we'll catch up with John here in a moment as soon as he gets caught up with head coach Tom Wilson right there about the 40-yard line. And let's go down to John and head coach Tom Wilson.
Well, Coach, nice start to the game with a nice drive down the field to put 7 on the board. It seems like it's been a defensive battle up until that point. Your thoughts on the first half?
Really, the defense has played great. We had a 13-14 play drive to begin the game, and we haven't handled their movements or blitzes since.
Well, good luck the second half there, Coach.
Thanks.
All right, John Chido, comments from head coach Tom Wilson. Dowling leading 7-0, and pretty much as we described it. A low-scoring game, field position, good job by both defenses. First time this year, Centennial has played a top 10 team. Dowling, this is their 4th time playing a top 10 team. That doesn't matter. Both teams have kind of been toe-to-toe here in this first half, Matt.
These are 2 teams that you expect to go late in November. The way they're playing right now, they're playing toe-to-toe, and 2 well-coached, well-disciplined ball clubs, and Centennial's is their defense is everything they've come out to be, and they've done a great job of stopping up the line of scrimmage and making plays and running the ball and making us run sideline to sideline, and likewise for our defense. Our defense has been spot on. Coach has them, Coach Bossum has them in all the right spots, and they're playing well.
And the only scorer in this game is with 6:47 remaining in the first quarter. Jason Murray, a 10-yard run for a Dowling touchdown. The extra point by Carter Baumler was good. Maroons cap off a 13-play, 79-yard drive. They took the opening kickoff and scored. After that, it's been defense for both teams. So one scored and it was on Dowling's opening possession as Ankeny Centennial will have the kickoff to start the second half. We're awaiting our first half statistics, and if they're not here, we're going to go right to our first half interview. And did you get a chance to meet these two gentlemen we're going to talk to, Connor Brevard and Blake Waller today, Matt?
I did not during the day. I'm running around making sure all the kids are where they're supposed to be during homecoming week. And these two young men were in here in the auditorium this afternoon. They had a ceremony in there, and then into the gym this afternoon for the pep rally, and just a nice thing to see, to get them recognized out in front of the student body. And it makes you feel good about the legacy that has been created by young men like this.
Absolutely, and these two young men now are settling in Arizona. And by the way, they are both engaged to be married later on this year and early next year. So
they're going to get a lot smarter then, aren't they?
Well, they could. And now we have our first half statistics, so we'll keep it here for one more moment. Yeah, they're going to get a lot smarter.
Yeah.
The young ladies, I'll tell you what, well, in football we call it out kicking your coverage, and they both did. Congratulations to both of them and their families. Well, Matt, let's take a look at the first half statistics between Dowling and Ankeny Centennial here at halftime. The Maroons lead at 7-0. Total yards, Dowling with 109 yards of total offense, Centennial with 49 yards in the first half. 44 yards in the air for Dowling, 12 yards in the air for Centennial. Dowling's rushed the ball for 65 yards, and Centennial with 37 yards rushing. There were no turnovers in the first half, and as far as penalties, Maroons were penalized 4 times for 25 yards, and Centennial three times for 15 yards. Zach Waters was 8 out of 9 passing for 44 yards. Jason Murray, 17 carries, 59 yards, and a touchdown for the Maroons. For Centennial, Godwin, 8 carries, 20 yards, and Seversyke was 1 of 3 passing for 12 yards in the first half. Let's take a look at our first half numbers. Jack Lyman, the lead receiver for Dowling, 3 catches for 30 yards, and Tegan Johnson, 1 catch for 7 yards. Stillwell, 1 catch for 6 yards to lead Dowling. So again, our halftime score, it's Dowling 7, Ankeny Centennial nothing. And alongside Matt Mainring, I'm Mark Amadale. When we return, we'll take a 2-minute break. We'll come back with a couple of Dowling Catholic Hall of Famers in the class of 2018. Connor Brevard and Blake Waller will join us here at halftime from Valley Stadium on Iowa Catholic Radio and the Central Iowa Sports Network.
They recommend women get an annual mammogram starting at age 40. They know that it's the best way to detect cancers early and save lives. And that's good enough for me. Visit iowaradiology.com or call to schedule your mammogram. Iowa Radiology, our focus is your good health.
Why do I look for the seal? It's about trust. Whether I'm buying a car, hiring a contractor, finding a tax preparer, or an honest mechanic, the Better Business Bureau seal means this business meets high standards. When I see the seal, I know I'll get what I pay for. No more taking chances and no more worries. And I feel good about supporting local businesses. My life is so much easier knowing I can always trust BBB accredited businesses. It pays to look for the seal. See for yourself at bbb.org/Iowa. Why do I look for the seal? It's about trust. Whether I'm buying a car, hiring a contractor, finding a tax preparer, or an honest mechanic, the Better Business Bureau seal means this business meets high standards. When I see the seal, I know I'll get what I pay for. No more taking chances and no more worries. And I feel good about supporting local businesses. My life is so much easier knowing I can always trust BBB accredited businesses. It pays to look for the seal. See for yourself at bbb.org.
Waukee Chevy, find new roads. WaukeeChevy.com. Schottenkirk Chevrolet's Power Price Truck and Crossover event featuring new 18 Silverado Double Cab LTs. Power lease, $259 per month lease.
Power price, $32,490.
New 18 Silverado Crew Cabs. Power lease, $429 per month lease.
Power price, $36,490.
Over 170 Traverse, Equinox, and Trax available. With 12 going on 13 years of year-over-year sales records, Schottenkirk knows how to sell Chevys. Schottenkirk Chevy, Waukee Chevy, find new roads. WaukeeChevy.com. Schottenkirk Chevrolet's
who believes in competition and good sportsmanship, who knows it's not about the trophies or the medals, but rather the lessons learned. For those who understand, it's not whether you win or lose, just that you give your best. So go ahead.
Valley Stadium here in West Des Moines. We're at halftime. Dowling leading Ankeny Centennial by a score of 7-0. My name is Mark Amadale, and I'm joined now by one of the latest Dowling Hall of Fame inductees, and that is Blake Waller. Blake was a 2010 Dowling graduate in golf and in baseball. And Blake, welcome and thank you for joining us, and congratulations to you.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's so awesome to be back.
Well, it's you're not that far removed. 8 years, that's not too bad, is it? Graduated 2010. You went on to play college golf, and now settled down in Arizona with your buddy here, Mr. Brevard, who is a year behind you. But talk about your experience at Dowling. What does this award mean to you, being in the Hall of Fame?
Yeah, it's so cool. It's such an elite group. It's so fun to be a part of. I was so honored to just be asked as a part of the induction. Just the standards at Dowling are so high, and that's kind of what I talked about today, is how that can stay with you your whole life. And the lessons and things that you learn at that age are so important, good or bad.
Now, there's probably a lot of times that you're playing golf for Coach Gray, and we had a little conversation about that today, but there are some van rides that I think maybe our listeners and our viewers might be interested in, the infamous van rides in the golf team.
That's right. Coach Gray had the high top van with the awesome Nintendo 64 in it, and we had fun.
How far were you guys going?
We always tried to schedule the farther trips. We wanted to go on the road because those trips were so fun.
Well, you were a state champion varsity golfer and state individual golf champion, and lots of accolades. And, of course, then you went on first team all Big 12, all academic, all America. That is awesome. Now, you went to college where?
Iowa State.
I'm sorry to hear that. Everybody knows. Brevard knows I'm a big Hawkeye fan. My son just graduated there.
All right, congrats.
Yeah, and so Iowa State, you took your knowledge that you learned there, and I'll be easy on you there, and talk about your experience, because you used some of that Dowling background and all the experiences up at Iowa State, and you had an excellent season up there.
Yeah, it was good. We won the Bridgestone Collegiate my sophomore year. The team with the new coach has gone on to win a lot more tournaments, and now continue to make regionals and continue to make nationals. So it's really cool to see a program really turn the corner for the positive. They're going to nationals just about every year now, so it's awesome.
Well, you're doing well in the college life and now in the business world. You're one of the owners in InExpress franchise. I don't know if they're up in Central Iowa yet, but
yes, sir.
Talk about that.
Yeah, well, I'm the franchise here in Des Moines, actually.
You are?
Yeah. So I live in Scottsdale, run the franchise here. It's awesome. It's a shipping brokerage. We specialize in small parcel international packages, but it's really fun. It gives me the opportunity to learn the skills that I did at Dowling and at Iowa State to be in sales and run a business. So it's awesome.
Well, we're visiting with Blake Waller, the class of 2010, the latest addition to the Dowling Catholic Athletic Hall of Fame. You're engaged.
Yeah.
And it's a Dowling gal. It's Taylor Gelati, and also a 2010 grad.
That's right.
Congratulations. And I understand you're getting married in Arizona. And Monsignor Hess is going to be doing the honors.
That's right. We're getting married at the Dowling Chapel, actually. So It's going to be here. Yep. So next October. I'm really excited about it. We both were. It was a big summer for both of us.
Blake, you talked about what you remember about Dowling, and it's a feeling of inclusion and respect for God. I think you mentioned that earlier, and that's on all the Hall of Fame candidates. They're kind of their bio. But what are some of the memories you have from Dowling that kind of have helped you now in the business world as you are engaged to be married and starting your professional life? Yeah,
I think at Dowling, athletically and academically was the first time that I was really pushed and really challenged. It changes your standards, and that's a word that I used a lot today was, just raise the standard. Competing is not good enough at Dowling. So, we finally got it done my senior year, won a state championship, and it feels really good to be back.
Well, congratulations on the award, on everything you got going in your life, and best of luck to you and Miss Gelati on your wedding day.
Hey, thank you.
And thanks for coming back and talking to us. I know it's been a big week, big few days for you, and I know Connor's going to come up next, but congratulations to everybody. It was great coming back and seeing some of the excitement still at Dowling.
Oh, yeah, it's cool. And I told Taylor today when we were in the car on the way home, it just feels like that place is always getting better, every year. When you see my sister go through just recently, and being back today, it's just like, the standard keeps getting raised.
It does.
Yeah.
And it's people like you that keep raising the standard. So
appreciate it.
Keep that in mind.
Appreciate it.
All right.
Yeah.
We'll take a break. Thanks for joining us here at halftime. We're going to take a 1-minute break. When we come back, we're going to visit with one of the other candidates. Connor Brevard will join me here at halftime. Dowling leading Ankeny Centennial in the football game by the score of 7-0. Back after these messages here on Iowa Catholic Radio and the Central Iowa Sports Network.
coach of Westside Auto Pros. When your car's on the injured reserve, you want to get it back in the game as soon as possible. I know that. That's why you need to bring it here to Westside Auto Pros. I have a team of experts that can fix almost every automotive injury. Whether it's a fractured joint, a brake, or if your car just got its bell rung, no problem. We can even do a complete physical on your car to make sure it's game ready for the entire season. So bring your car to Westside Auto Pros and we'll get it back in the starting lineup in no time. Hey, you guys are dogging it back here. Let's move it, move it, move it.
At your service. There's no doubt about it. Saving feels great. At Mid-American Energy, we love saving too. Saving the environment by supporting tree planting, which improves air quality. Saving money by investing in wind energy, which keeps rates low. And saving you energy by providing tips to help make your home more energy efficient. Which means you can take those savings and put your energy into having fun. Saving definitely feels great. So does being obsessively, relentlessly at your service. There's no doubt about it.
And welcome back to halftime here at Valley Stadium. Mark Amadeo now joined by Connor Brevard, the class of 2011 and the most recent inductee to the Dowling Catholic Athletic Hall of Fame. Connor Brevard, thank you for joining us and welcome. Congratulations. I know you got some people listening right now. Your dad, Brian, who's right below us. He won't come up in the press box for whatever reason, but congratulations, Brian.
Thank you so much.
I mean, Connor, Brian will be, I'm sure, listening, but
yeah, he's down there listening. No, thank you so much. It's a tremendous honor to be included in this and to even be thought of. So I'm very humbled and honored and to go on with some elite company like Blake and the others before us. So.
Yeah. That was you had a pretty good class. You had a real good class. And
Absolutely.
I'll tell you what, there'll probably be more from your class going in. But
Absolutely.
Connor, you were one state title in football. Actually, this is so correct. Tom Wilson and Jim Williams won their first title. Here was the quarterback, Connor Brevard, and he also won a state title in baseball. And I remember when you were playing center field, we picked up the games, I think, during the state tournament run.
Yeah.
What a memory that was, playing at Principal Park.
Absolutely, yeah. It was just an incredible blessing playing with so many great people in my class and so much talent. And we were just so fortunate to have great teammates that thrived, in multiple sports. So
Absolutely.
It was very special to have that state championship first in the fall of 2010 for football, and then to carry on our last summer together in baseball and to go out on a high note and win that state championship was very special.
And while you were doing all that, you balanced the academic side, National Honor Society member at Dowling, student ambassador, and of course you went on to get your first degree at the junior college at Iowa Western, and what a program they've had since, I think, you were probably there when it first started and they got real good in football.
Absolutely. Coach Strohmeyer is just a heck of a coach, and he does it the right way. And I can't say enough great things about him and the program he's running. And I know we've had a lot of Dowling boys go out on after this and have great success. Rico Gafford, Kurt Walding, just a few to come to mind. And it's just a wonder opportunity here in Iowa to go on and play for an elite program that has national contention every single year.
It certainly is. And then you went from JUCO down to Alabama. You went down the south.
Yeah.
That's where you met your fiance.
Yes.
And congratulations on your wedding that Monsignor Hess is going to do here.
Yes.
in
He's going to be a busy man.
Yes, he will, between you and Blake. But you went down to Troy and played football, and that was a team that, they scheduled Troy, some of the big, the SEC teams that scheduled Troy. Well, I believe you guys knocked that one of those teams off during your career.
Yeah, and actually last year it was LSU. So we knocked off LSU last year, which was a huge win in Death Valley. So I was super pumped about that for my alma mater. And then tomorrow we're at Lincoln, Nebraska, playing Nebraska. So hopefully the Trojans can get a win tomorrow. So we'll see.
Well, talk about what you're doing now. Well, I actually got to back up. Talk about your Dowling experience. You were successful on the field, successful in the classroom, and you really talk about time management. I know you're doing that with your professional life and right now, but talk about that. Had to be a big thing, working out, academics, getting everything squared, and doing that each and every day.
Yeah, I honestly have to give all the credit to the coaching staff. They have such a great structure. Coach Wilson and his staff, and Coach O'Neill and his staff when I was here. It was just tremendous seeing how we, strength and conditioning, the speed and agilities, the workouts, the practices, and then managing that with a first-class, world-class academic institution like Dowling. It was really cool, and it was really great experience for me to have, and just incredibly blessed to come to Dowling. And like Blake said, the standard has continued to rise and continue to be set, and Dowling is thriving, and I'm so glad to see that it is. Because I love this place and I love this community.
Visit with Connor Brevard, one of the latest Dowling Athletic Hall of Fame inductees from the class of 2011. 2011, led Dowling to the 2010 state championship in football, the first one the Maroons had under Coach Tom Wilson, and baseball championship. Was that in 2011, your senior year?
Yep. 2011.
After you left. Well, we'll talk about now. You're engaged to be married in January.
Yeah.
And where you working?
So, yeah, engaged to my fiance, Erin Simpson. Shout out to her. I think she's listening down there. So
watching or
I met her at Troy, so a special place in my heart. But now I'm working at the University of Arizona in the athletic department there. I work in our development department, which is responsible for raising philanthropic dollars to help all of our student athletes out with our nutrition, our equipment, uniforms, etc. So it's really cool to help give back to the student athletes because I had that experience and I know what it's like, and it was so cool, and now that's what I want to do and hopefully make my career in.
Well, Connor, give a shout out to former athletic director at Dowling, Mike Ketchum, who's down there in your department.
Yeah.
He's on a different end of the department, I understand, but please give him a hello from us because
Absolutely.
Mike did a great job while he was here at Dowling, as you know.
I will.
And he's down in Arizona. You guys are both going south. You and Blake both heading south.
Yeah, he's in Scottsdale. I'm down in Tucson, but we not too far away. But I'll definitely tell Mike Ketchum you said hello.
I appreciate that. And Connor, I got to ask you, got a great memory you can share with us on the radio, on TV, one of your experiences at Dowling. It had to be in a locker room after a game, whether it's a championship game or a regular. Can you give us some insight there to our listeners and viewers?
Yeah, I think one of the memories that comes to mind is our state championship game. We were down by 10 points in the fourth quarter, and I remember looking into the huddle and seeing every man's face and looking in their eyes, and Coach Wilson next to me, and everyone was so calm, just a sense of calm on everyone's face. And I knew at that time that, hey, we were going to do whatever it took to win this game. And we went into overtime, as some of you may remember, and went on to win. And it was such a special one, winning Coach Wilson's first title. He'd been to the state championship game numerous times at Dyke New Hartford and previous institutions, but to win Coach Wilson's first title was very special. And I know all my teammates feel the same way.
And back then, Jim Williams, who was part of the coaching staff, that offensive line that protected you so well on quarterback, Connor.
Absolutely.
He was a big part of that with Coach Pollock.
Absolutely. Coach Williams is a legend. We used to joke that he would control the weather because it would be raining and sleeting, and then 3 p.m. practice it, no precipitation. So absolutely dry out there. So Coach Williams is a legend not only here at Simpson, Iowa State. So I'm glad to see him still on the sidelines contributing to these young men because he has so much knowledge to offer to all these kids.
Well, you do too. So if you get into coaching, I know you may. I know your dad's got that in his background.
Yeah.
But best of luck, Connor. And thank you for joining us here at halftime. Congratulations on being inducted in the Dowling Athletic Hall of Fame. And congratulations on your engagement.
Thank you.
And best of luck to you. And you know what? If you guys are ever up here, come on in, sit in on the broadcast with
Absolutely.
Mr. Maynard and I.
Absolutely. It's a pleasure and always an honor talking with you, and thanks for all the work you guys do.
Appreciate that, Connor.
Yeah, absolutely.
Connor Brevard and Blake Waller, my two guests here at halftime, Athletic Hall of Fame inductees for Dowling Catholic. We're going to take a break, come back with the start of the second half. It's 7-0, Dowling leading Centennial here at halftime on Iowa Catholic Radio and the Central Iowa Sports Network.
Building a strong community doesn't happen overnight. It takes a vision for the future, the ability to turn a challenge into a success, and individuals who inspire new generations of growth. Greater Des Moines has done a lot of growing over the years, and so have we. At Brick Gentry Law, your success is something that we create together. Thank you for making us a part of your community. Thank you for
Truck and crossover event featuring new 18 Silverado double cab LTs. Power lease, $259 per month lease.
Our price, $32,490.
New 18 Silverado crew cabs. Power lease, $429 per month lease.
Our price, $36,490.
Over 170 Traverse, Equinox, and Trax available. With 12 going on 13 years of year-over-year sales records, Schottenkirk knows how to sell Chevys. Schottenkirk Chevy, Waukee. Chevy, find new roads. Waukee.
Energy when and where you need it. To connecting with you and keeping our communities safe and strong. Because the most important thing we put our energy into is you. We're obsessively, relentlessly at your service. We might not always know what the day will bring, but some things are certain. The sun will rise and your lights will go on. That's because at Mid-American Energy, we're obsessively, relentlessly committed.
And welcome back to Valley Stadium as we begin the second half here on a beautiful night for high school football. Very warm, 88 degrees at kickoff, and now we kick off here in the second half. Baumler's kick goes into the end zone. It'll be a touchback, and Centennial will take over 1st and 10 from their own 20-yard line. Mark Amadale, Matt Maindring, and visiting with a couple Dowling Hall of Fame inductees tonight, Connor Brevard and Blake Waller. I want to also congratulate Matthew Hawk, Eric Howe, and Miranda Leak, also going to the Dowling Catholic Hall of Fame this year. And, of course, members of the 1968 undefeated Dowling football team and head coach Jim Williams. Let's go back down the field for a report from our sideline reporter and our Shields sideline reporter, that is John Chido. Johnny?
Well, Mark, this is where you'll see what halftime adjustments both teams will have made, and we'll see if with Ankeny Centennial with the ball to start the second half.
All right, here is Seversyke on play action, fires the ball downfield. The pass is thrown behind, caught by Ben Breeding. That's his first catch of the night, and he takes tacklers inside the Dowling 50-yard line down to the Maroon 47-yard line on the first play of the second half.
Yeah, they saw something there. We had the coverage on, and then someone released them like they thought they had help over the top on that. And I believe Ryan Adams ends up coming up and making the tackle on that. We had a good hit on the quarterback as he was releasing the football, but just a step too late.
47-yard line at Dowling. The play goes for 33 yards to Breeding. That's his first catch of the night, and now they run the jet sweep, and the give is to the tailback, and he gets into the secondary of Dowling as they run the jet sweep deep and towards the numbers, and cutting up field is the tailback for Centennial, Blake Murphy.
Yeah, they ran that jet sweep, and he showed his patience there behind the line of scrimmage, then found the seam in the Maroon defense and took off, and Connor Jackman and it looked like Levi Hummel on the tackle there.
So a 33-yard catch by Breeding and a 12-yard run by Murphy on first down puts Centennial with a first down at the Dowling 35. Dowling 7, Centennial nothing. Underway here in the third quarter. Now man in motion, and they give it to Godwin right up the gut. He goes over center, and he gets down to the 33-yard line. So Centennial just come out in the second half, a la what Dowling did to start the football game, taking the opening possession, get into the other team's defensive red zone.
Yeah, you're exactly right. It's very reminiscent of that first drive that Dowling had moving down the field. And you see some intensity coming off the Ankeny Centennial line right now. It's like they've got a fire lit under them, and they're really exploding out off of the line of scrimmage and taking it to the Dowling defense up front.
Well, 2nd and 8 now for the Jaguars. We got two tight ends in there, and the quarterback is Seversyke. Garrett Seversyke, wearing number 18, sends a man in motion, and now penalty flags down as he faked the handoff to the man in motion, and that was number 32, Gabe Godwin, and we got a false start called on the Jaguars.
And that's the kind of thing for Ankeny Centennial, as it does for us. When you're a ball control run offense, those 5-yard penalties really add up.
Yes, they do.
And put you in those second and long situations where Ankeny is right now. And it swings the momentum to the defensive side of the football.
And we want to thank R&R Realty, along with Catholic Tuition Organization and Skeffington's Formal Wear for supporting our broadcast here on Iowa Catholic Radio. Also like to thank Shields for our sideline reports tonight, as we'll go to John Chido here in a moment. 10:05 remaining third quarter. Seversyke back to throw, fires the ball out. The pass is caught to Avery Gates out of the backfield, and he's hit and slammed down. Michael Keel with the nice job one-on-one, and he got a hold of Gates' jersey and pulled him down back at the 38-yard line for no gain.
That was a heck of a play by Keogh. I mean, he really ran out there, and if he's the only guy. He's the only guy out there that makes the play, and he hits him, and I know their sideline wanted a horse collar, but, you know, Michael had the jersey, and you can grab onto the jersey, and that's legal, and that's what happened there, and he pulled him down for a big no gain.
You just can't come inside the shoulder pads up where the neck is and make a tackle. 3rd and 13 for Centennial, back at their Dowling 38-yard line with 9.5 minutes remaining. Seversyke back to throw, has time, sets up in the pocket, fires the ball near side. The pass is incomplete. It looked like the intended receiver that time, Dylan D'Angelo, may have gotten tangled up with the Dowling defender, Ryan Adam, but no call there, and the pass is incomplete.
We were fortunate on that play. Ryan slipped on the turf there, and as he was reaching, their receiver slipped as well. The ball was a little low, so I don't think he was going to be able to catch it off of there. And again, even though we're on the 38-yard line, this shows you what Coach Pizzetti thinks of his defense.
Yeah, a lot of respect for the Dowling defense. As a punter, Avery Knief will step in. He'll step back at his own 47. Good snap, and Knief, the right-footed kicker, gets it away. High end over end kick, and Stillwell has it at the 8-yard line. Slips a tackle and maybe to the 10 before he's brought down. So no fair catch there for Stillwell of Dowling, and the Maroons will have it 1st and 10 from their own 10-yard line. 9:16 remaining third quarter. Maroons scoring in the first quarter, and that's held up 7-0. Let's go down to our Shield sideline reporter. That is John Chido. John?
Well, it's like a heavyweight boxing match. Both teams defensively are playing outstanding. Ankeny with 2 big plays, and then they had a penalty, put him behind the chains, and then Michael Keogh with a great open field tackle to stop that drive.
All right, Dowling with the first down. The line of scrimmage is the Dowling 10-yard line. Waters in at quarterback. They give us to Murray, and right up the gut he goes over center, and he's tackled right at the line of scrimmage for no gain. I'll bring up 2nd and long.
Yeah, number 34, Logan Niels, really came up and finished Jason off there on that one and pushed him backwards for no gain.
2nd down, 10 Maroons. Want to thank our supporters of Iowa Catholic Radio. They include Tumia and Sons, along with our good friends at the Chad Harris Mortgage Team at Fidelity Bank and Paper Systems. We appreciate their support. Now Waters on play action, wants to fire downfield. He fires it downfield. It's caught by Lyman at midfield, and nobody's going to catch him. Jack Lyman's going to go in for a 90-yard touchdown pass, and Dowling now 2 scores up on Centennial. They lead it 13-0. Matt Maindring.
They won. There's a statement play. Everybody stand on the field back here. We've got a hold on Dowling. There's a flag
it's going to come back. Thrown back at the line of scrimmage.
That is unfortunate for the Dowling team there. I was just going to say, Zach had good protection.
Yes,
there might have been a little bit extra protection maybe. But
we'll see if we could pick up the penalty from the referee. He's already initiated it. So holding against Dowling wipes off a 90-yard touchdown pass play from Zach Waters to Jack Lyman. That'll move the ball back to the 5-yard line in the down over.
Even though that play gets called back, that's got to be a big confidence booster for Zach Waters. I mean, he put that ball right on the money, and Jack Lyman was able to run away from it. And now it's one of those things that's kind of hit this team a couple times this year, as penalties at inopportune times.
Certainly did. Now the Maroons with 3 receivers right. Waters now quarterback draw. He keeps it around left end, and he gets up to maybe the 8-yard line before he's brought down. Gain of 3, and I'll bring up 3rd down for the Maroons.
3rd and 10.
3rd and about, I think, 12 or so. Let's see where that down distance marker's going.
Scott Daup on the stop there again for Centennial. He kind of holds this left side of the Maroon offense in check, and this is one of those areas on the field where you get a little nervous about what the play call is going to be and putting your kids in good situations.
Playbook's not open here, not all the way. 9-yard line's the line of scrimmage. The give is to Jason Murray. He squirts through a tackle up to the 21st down, and he's dropped to the 24 of Dowling. And that's Jason Murray right up the gut over left guard that time for the Maroons. Nice job by the offensive lineman up front for Dowling, opening up that hole.
Yeah,
Hayden the center, and Curtin the left guard, and Charlie Nank the left tackle.
Ran through the left side there, and that's that patience he shows in that backfield. And then when he hits that seam, he's moving.
15-yard run for Murray, 1st down Dowling, and now a lateral pass caught by Thompson, and Edward trying to get outside the numbers, and a penalty flag down trailing the play. This could be a face mask maybe on Centennial. We'll see. They're going to spot him down at the 30.
They're going to call a hold out there, I believe, on Jack Lyman on that play, and the official closest to it did not call it. This flag came from way deep in the secondary, and he had him locked up. I thought it was clean. The official did not, and that's what matters.
Just how you called it, Coach. Holding on Dowling, and it was on one of the receivers. So that'll wipe out a 6-yard gain by Thompson.
On those quick screens like that, it puts a lot of pressure on that receiver to hold that block. They have to hold that block for a long time, and the Centennial defender did a really good job of forcing the issue and creating that hold.
Moves the ball back to the 16-yard line, but I think the officials want to get together. The head linesman is saying moving it back to the 15-yard line, so the Maroons are back another yard. Line of scrimmage was the 9. before Murray's first down, and then Thompson gets called for Thompson's pass play is wiped out. So here's Waters. Play action. Back to throw. Has time. Now being swarmed under. Loses the football. And the Maroons fall on it. The Dowling offensive line fell on the football. Luckily back at the 5-yard line. But a penalty flag is down.
Jesse Alger falls down on the football there. And they're going to call another hold up front. And it'll be interesting to see if they take this one.
This is half the distance.
Half the distance.
They're going to put the ball back at the 7-yard line and make Dowling do it again.
They're calling that a spot foul.
That's, yeah, back to the 7-yard line.
Well, they're going to put it on the 2. Ball's on the 2-yard line.
Half the distance is the 3.5.
Yeah.
Now they're going to wind the clock. So first and 32 for Dowling. The ball on the 2-yard line, and now they give it to Murray, and he maybe gets a few yards up to the 7, maybe the 8-yard line.
They create a little bit of room there for the Dowling offense by getting up in there, and the line did a good job there of keeping their feet churning and giving Jason a little yardage here. So we got 5 yards out of that play. You don't have a lot of plays in the playbook that are 2nd and 28.
Maroons got to get to the 34 for a first down. Line of scrimmage right now is the 8-yard line, and now pistol formation. Here's Waters back to throw from his own goal line. Fires right side. The pass is caught, and that is Jack Lyman with the catch in the far sideline, right about the 18-yard line.
And again, they go out there towards Corey Prang. It's one of those things, though. They were just giving us those 8 yards or 7 yards there, whatever we got, 12 yards on that play. And now we're in the 3rd and somewhat manageable.
Ball moved up to the 18-yard line. So a gain of 10 that time by Lyman on the reception. Corey Prongy with the tackle for Centennial. Dowling will line up with 3 receivers to the left. Play clock down to 10, and now Waters gets in the shotgun formation with Murray in the backfield. So 3 receivers left, 1 to the right for Dowling. Maroons without a tight end here. Back to throw is Waters on the snap. Fires the ball right side. Caught again by Lyman, and Jack's run out of bounds at the 31-yard line. They'll pick up 13 more yards.
Yeah, the same play that they ran the play before. It's a 13-yard out, about a 12-yard out, 4 yards short of the first down marker, so Dowling will have to punt.
4th down and 4 for the Maroons. Dowling needs to get it to the 34 for a first down, and they are stopped shy at the 30-yard line before they run him out of bounds.
And they were able to get a lot of that yardage back, which was which was a benefit for the Maroons.
We'll go down to John Chido following this change of possession. Dowling punting, 4th down and 4 from their own 30, and low snap. Baumler fumbles it, but he picks it up, and the ball is blocked. Punt blocked by Centennial, and it's picked up by the Jaguars to the 10. And are just going to say about flipping the field position. Well, the field position just flipped as a fumble return or fumble recovery by the Jaguars will give Centennial a 1st and goal inside the 10.
Yeah, he got it picked back up and was able to punt it. Centennial had great pressure up in there and was able to block it. Now the backs of the defense are against the wall.
5:07 remaining, 3rd quarter. It's Dowling 7, Centennial nothing. The line of scrimmage is the 10-yard line.
How quickly things turn. We go from a touchdown on one end back to being in the hole here on the next couple plays.
All right, the give is to a little jet sweep to Cahill, and he tries to get outside the right hash. The play went left to right. Cahill lined up as the left receiver to the left. He went in motion and a little jet sweep, turned outside right end, and he tucks it upfield, and they're going to put him down at the 9 for a gain of 1.
Yeah, Jack Schultz on the bottom of the pile there, and Levi Hummel. The initial pressure by Kriegshauser and Keogh strung that play out, and Hummel and Jack Schultz were able to limit the gain on that.
So it's 2nd down for Centennial. Ball on the 9-yard line. Here's the snap. Seversyke back to throw. Fires the ball out, and that is caught by Avery Gates, and he's hit and slammed down, and this is the other Keel brother, Jack Keel, with the stop right about the 5-yard line.
I think that's Hummel. I believe that's Hummel. They're going to call him for a face mask, or they might get the horse collar on this.
Referees are talking it over at the 10-yard line, and I think you're exactly right. After Hummel's stop, Officials still getting with it.
And Levi had to run a long way to catch that. That was a well-designed play, getting that back, leaking him out of the backfield. And Hummel did a great job of running 20 yards across the field.
Half the distance to the goal. The ball was down at the 3-yard line. That'll move it to the 1.5 yard line. Automatic first down, and Centennial now knocking on the door. It's 1st and goal.
Well, now they aren't. That might have been the variety that is not an automatic first down, but it's 2nd and 1.
Yeah, 2nd and 1 from the 2-yard line. Second man through, goes in. Touchdown, Avery Gates and Centennial. They run the old.
That's that double lead.
Double lead.
Yeah.
Fake the fullback, give it the second man through, right over left guard, left tackle, and touchdown Centennial. And they're 1 point away from tying it with 4:10 remaining, 3rd quarter. Dowling 7, Centennial 6, penning the Ankeny Centennial extra point. That was all as a result of a block punt that set that all up by Centennial.
You know, and again, we go back, and the penalties hurt us, kept us in the hole, and then Ankeny Centennial took advantage and got a turnover on the block punt.
So Gates with the touchdown. The extra point is up, and it's good. And we're tied at 7 here at Valley Stadium on Dowling's homecoming. 4:10 remaining, 3rd quarter. We'll take a break. We'll be back with more from Valley Stadium. Dowling 7, Centennial 7 here on Iowa Catholic Radio and the Central Iowa Sports Network.
Building a strong community doesn't happen overnight. It takes a vision for the future, the ability to turn a challenge into a success, and individuals who inspire new generations of growth. Greater Des Moines has done a lot of growing over the years, and so have we. At Brick Gentry Law, your success is something that we create together. Thank you for making us a part of your community.
Keeps it on the ground and is picked up by Jason Murray, and he returns it from his own 7-yard line up to the Dowling 47. That's a 40-yard return, Matt Maindring, and good field position.
You know, that's the way to get the momentum going for this offensive series. The thing was, what made it nervous was that ball was bouncing down that kickoff, and that's a free football.
Yes,
Jason was able to scoop it up and then take off with it and found a seam, and here we are.
All right, first down Dowling on their own 47. We're tied at 7. Centennial and Dowling, two top 5 teams. Handoff goes to Tegan Johnson. He blasts through there. It gets across midfield. Straight ahead running, and Tegan down to the 46-yard line of Centennial. So he picked up 7 yards on first down. Let's go down to the Dowling sideline. That's where our sideline reporter, our Shields sideline reporter tonight is, and that's John Chiddle. John, gives an update.
Well, you know, we talked about it. Penalties has just been the Achilles heel for Dowling Catholic. You got to credit Ankeny Centennial and their defense and taking advantage of those opportunities. You get Jason Murray in space, and good things happen. We have Dowling has good field position to start this series.
They certainly do, and it's a 2nd down and 3. Handoff Tegan Johnson again, and he's hit and dropped. They've gotten forward progress down at the 45 for a pickup of 1, but that Ankeny Centennial defense right there on the stop, Matt Maindring.
Yeah, Lane Prusner and company in on that tackle. Tegan did a good job of the initial explosion through the line of scrimmage, got some yardage there, gets a 3rd and 2 situation right now, and bring Jason back into the ball game.
Under 3 minutes remaining here in the 3rd quarter. We're tied at 7, Dowling and Centennial. Dowling took the opening kickoff and drove down. They went 79 yards on 13 plays for Jason Murray, 10-yard run. Maroons led 7-0 at the half, and now Centennial has answered on the block punt. Now we've got a timeout call. We'll take a 1-minute break and be back. 2:45 remaining 3rd quarter. Dowling and Ankeny Centennial tied at 7. Back here in 1 minute on Iowa Catholic Radio and the Central Iowa Sports Network.
Owned for nearly a century, G&L Clothing, 1801 Ingersoll, Des Moines.
G&L Clothing, your size, your style, we got it all.
Miss your hometown clothing store, the one that had it all? Everything to get the work done all in one place. G&L Clothing is your hometown Iowa store. Stop in and see us, or we're only a click or phone call away. Family owned for nearly a century. G&L Clothing, 1801 Ingersoll, Des Moines.
G&L Clothing.
Thank you for 50 years. Building a strong community doesn't happen overnight. It takes a vision for the future, the ability to turn a challenge into a success, and individuals who inspire new generations of growth. Greater Des Moines has done a lot of growing.
We're back here at Valley Stadium, Dowling's homecoming and Athletic Hall of Fame. Timeout called by the Maroons. And it's Dowling and Centennial tied at 7. Now here is a toss play to Jason Murray trying to get outside the numbers. Stops before he gets out of bounds, and he's near a first down. Depends on where they give him forward progress. Right at the Centennial 43, Matt Maindring.
Yeah, you know, the adjustment Coach Wilson made there is that play was designed before the timeout to go to the narrow side of the field. And Coach Wilson saw the defensive alignment and then flipped that play and put his three receivers to the wide side of the field and let Jason run to the edge and make that first down happen.
All right, 1st and 10, Dowling at the 43-yard line. A couple of scores to update you on. It's Waukee leading Valley 14-9, and now here is Waters back to throw, and he fires it out. The pass is incomplete as he tried to hit, I believe it must have been his tight end, and that was number 89 for the Maroons, Andrew Lynch, and the pass knocked away by Centennial. Let's get caught up with some other scores. Dowling's next opponent is the Ankeny Hawks next week, and they lead Roosevelt 28-0 in the second half. We mentioned Waukee leading Valley 14-3 out at Waukee tonight. So there's a couple scores to pass along, Matt.
Jackson Huber right there made an excellent play for Centennial to knock that football away in that previous play.
All right, back to the ground game. Does the Maroons go? Hand off Jason Murray, right up the gut he goes, and he's hit and dropped. Maybe got down to the 41-yard line. Tough going, gain of 2. And it'll bring up 3rd and 8 for the Maroons at the 41 of Centennial, and Waukee now leading 20-9 over Valley out at Waukee. So we got a mild upset going there, and got a great game going here. 41-yard line, pick up a 2 that time by Murray. Here's Waters back to throw. He's went the distance tonight. Fakes the throw and a quarterback draw, and he's hit and stuffed it back at the 43. He'll lose 2 yards, and again we'll bring up 4th down, and the punting unit is coming in for the Maroons apparently.
Number 90 there for the Jags, Noah Bethards, made a really nice play inside of there along with the middle linebacker and got Zach right around the ankles. Otherwise that play was going to potentially get closer to that first down.
All right, Carter Baumler in. He'll stand back at his own 42-yard line. That's the 3rd time Zach Waters has been sacked tonight. Here's Baumler's kick, and a fair catch signaled for as it goes back to the inside the 20, and nice job that time by Avery Gates as he fields it there. It'll be 1st and 10 Centennial from their own 17-yard line, they'll call it, with minute 10 remaining here in the 3rd quarter. Dowling and Centennial tied at 7 here on Iowa Catholic Radio and the Central Iowa Sports Network as we simulcast tonight. Let's go down to the Dowling sideline, and our Shield sideline reporter for the Central Iowa Sports Network is John Chido. Johnny?
You know how we talked about Dow for Ankeny Centennial in pregame? Boy, he's having quite a game. He's everywhere, and it seems like Dowling Catholic has everyone accounted for up front blocking-wise, and there's Dow making tackles. And Coach mentioned Huber made a nice play in open space to bat that ball down to stop that Dowling Catholic drive.
Yeah, number 6 has been all over for Centennial tonight. Now here's a handoff on 1st down to Avery Gates, and that play is strung out, but Gates kind of lunges towards the 20 as he got outside the left hash. The play went right. He got around left end, and he really ran out of room and just lunged forward, and he picked up 3 yards.
Yeah, we had a nice job of turning that play in there by Michael Keogh and company, and kept stringing that play out, but the young man made a nice, what do they call, do we have a penalty on that?
No.
Must have had a penalty. I wonder if it was a 5-yard face mask. There's some
they
confusion because they haven't reset the markers.
Yeah, we didn't pick up the referee's mic.
It must have been a 5-yard face mask. They're replaying 1st down.
Yep, 1st and 2 they're going to call it. for Centennial. And now a little crisscross action. The give is to the fullback, and he crashed his way across the 30 up to about the 33-yard line. He picks up the first down as the tailback, the fullback that time, Godwin, with the carry.
Ankeny Centennial in the second half just seems to be quicker off the line of scrimmage than they were in the first half. They've come out with some intensity right now and are really starting to establish themselves up front.
Our offensive line is doing a good job. Of course, they only had 9 yards to go on that one drive that Centennial had, but right now they're starting to show their endurance. And now Seversyke out of the shotgun for Centennial. First down from their own 33. And the give is to the fullback, and he's hit and dropped right as he got across the line of scrimmage, maybe a yard. And that is number 2, Avery Gates.
Yeah, and Levi Hummel comes off the bottom of the pile there for the Maroons. We'll check that. And that is Max Bay at the bottom of the pile there. And they're going to let the clock run out, and that'll be the quarter break.
Yep, we've come to the end of the third quarter. This was a quick one because everything was on the ground. So we've come to the end of 3 quarters. It's Dowling 7, Ankeny Centennial 7. 2 top 5 teams meeting. We'll have the fourth quarter in 1 minute on Iowa Catholic Radio and the Central Iowa Sports Network.
Take the field, have fun, and play. For the experience, for the memories, for the love of the game. Shields. Here's to everyone who believes in competition and good sportsmanship, who knows it's not about the trophies or the medals, but rather the lessons learned. For those who understand, it's not whether you win or lose, just that you give your best. So go ahead, lace them up, take the field, have fun, and play. For the experience, for the memories, for the love of the game. Shields.
To providing you energy when and where you need it, to connecting with you and keeping our communities safe and strong. Because the most important thing we put our energy into is you. We're obsessively, relentlessly at your service. We might not always know what the
And we're back here at Valley Stadium. Fourth quarter underway. We're tied at 7. Dowling and Ankeny Centennial. The give on the first play of the fourth quarter was to Tyler Cahill for Centennial as they flip the field, and he goes from his own 36 up to the 38-yard line, gain of 2. Good defense that time of the Maroons. 3rd and 5 now for Centennial, Coach Mandring.
Yeah, Jack Schultz stayed home there on that play. They had a little misdirection in the backfield, and that defensive lineman was able to create the pile there up front.
All right, Garrett Seversyke is the quarterback, the left-hander wearing number 18 for Centennial. Back to throw. He fires the ball out, and the pass is incomplete, they say. Dylan DeAngelo, the intended receiver, and the line judge says.
We'll get a flag.
And pass incomplete. Now the officials get together. I do not see a flag.
There's a flag in the middle of the field, and
oh, there it is. After
don't know if it's a legal man downfield again.
And now. They're going to call Dowling for a personal foul, dead ball after the play. So the pass is incomplete, and that's an automatic first down.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure who that was on, and we'll have to get with John. If he can find out here in a moment, we'll go to John
where
Chido.
It was. Do you think it was after the play?
It said dead ball, so it must have been.
Yeah.
And that'll move the ball into Dowling side of the field at the 47-yard line after that penalty. So that's a huge penalty against the Maroons for a personal foul. And we'll try to get an explanation from John if he can find out.
Yeah,
first down, Centennial. 11 minutes remaining. Fourth quarter, we're tied at 7. And now the handoff goes to Godwin, and he's hit and stacked up at the line of scrimmage. Great job by the Dowling defense up front. May have lost the yard back to the 48-yard line. John Chido, if I can bring you in, can you help explain that personal foul penalty against the Maroons?
Yeah, it was on Nate Collins for hitting the quarterback. Quarterback didn't go to the ground, but it was an extra hit after he released the football. It's what they got Nate for.
Okay, that explains a lot. And thank you, John Chido, on that Shields sideline report. The personal foul goes against Collins.
It's one of those plays where Coach Pizzetti probably said something at halftime, because there were 2 times in the first half we hit him, and it was just after he released the football.
All right, 2nd and 11 now for Centennial, and now we got penalty flags going down as in motion was Avery Gates. He's number 2, and he was going left to right, but somebody else moved, and we got procedure call against the Jags.
Yeah.
So now where Dowling has a personal foul that would have gave would have been 4th down for Centennial. It gave Centennial an automatic 1st down. Well, now on this set of downs, Centennial has shot themselves in the foot a little bit here,
Yeah,
Matt.
the left guard there was pulling, and he just started to pull a little too soon and jumped off sides.
That'll move the ball back to the Centennial 47, 5-yard penalty. And that'll bring up 2nd and 16 for Centennial. Tied at 7, 10-10 remaining 4th quarter. Dowling and Ankeny Centennial here at Valley Stadium. And now Seversyke, a little jet sweep handoff to Gates, tries to get outside the numbers, turns it upfield and got nowhere. Tackled back at the 47. That was the line of scrimmage. It'll bring up 3rd and 16 for the Jaguars.
Yeah, Jack Keogh, Coach Bossum had him blitzing on that play, and he disrupted that in the backfield and made that play bounce. And as a defensive coordinator, that's what you want to see happen out there, is those plays keep bouncing farther and farther outside so they run out of room.
All right, it brings up 3rd and 16 for Centennial. Line of scrimmage is their own 47-yard line. This is the kind of defense Coach Bossum pulls out this time for Dowling. 2 receivers, 1 receiver left and 1 to the right. Back to throw Seversyke. Flush in the pocket, rolls to his right. The left-hander fires downfield, and the pass is caught and a 1st down by Avery Gates. What a execution that time by the Ankeny offense.
It's going to be an interesting spot. He dove for the 1st down, and they're saying he was down.
They're going to spot him down right at the marker.
Right at the marker. They're going to give him the 1st down, it looks like.
And they're not even going to measure. 1st down, Centennial. What a play by Seversyke. The left-hander rolled to his right, running out towards the boundary, and let it go, and Gates with the reception.
You know, and for a left-handed quarterback, they had him rolling to the right side, and so he's got to kind of throw across his body. That's not a natural, a right-hander, that's a natural motion. That's a little tough. That's a tough pass for that left-hander.
16-yard reception, 1st down, Centennial. They'll go out of the wishbone formation, 2nd man through, and that's Gates, and he's hit and dropped inside the 35, down to the 34, gain of 3.
And the thing that this does, that play, whether or not Ankeny Centennial continues to move this ball down the field, it did flip the field position and starts to chew more time off the clock, and things are starting to play in Ankeny Centennial's favor.
Yes, it is, and it may be the team that has the ball last that might make the biggest dent. 2nd down and 7 for Centennial. Line of scrimmage is the Dowling 34-yard line. Reminder, we'll have interviews from head coach for Tom Wilson with John Chido following tonight's game on Iowa Catholic Radio. Here is Seversyke back to throw. Rolls back, now flush from the pocket, wants to run, runs to his left. He's hit and driven down back from behind at his 33-yard line, or at the Dowling 33, maybe the 34. For little or no gain, but that was a lot of action that time. They went play action, and they went to the strong side of the field map, but Seversyke could not find an open receiver and ended up running with the football.
No, and Max Bay came from his defensive tackle position right there and chased him down and was able to take Seversyke down for the stop there. So good play by Max from that down lineman position and not giving up on a play.
Gain of 1 that time for Seversyke. It's 3rd and 6 Centennial. Seversyke out of the shotgun, backs behind the tackles, and we've got a timeout on the field. Or a stoppage of play. Line judge is going to talk with the referee. Oh, I think they're going to switch out the game ball right now for whatever reason.
Our coaches are wondering why they stopped the play here.
7:46 remaining here in the 4th quarter. Tied at 7, Dowling and Centennial. Now the referee and the field judge, or rather the linesman, are going to go talk with head coach Pizzetti.
Ankeny Centennial was trying to sub somebody in. I don't know if they had blood. I think that, or something. It looked like the young man going off the field may have had to go off the field. And that's a big deal because that's the center. That's number 58, their center. And when you got to pull your center out,
that could be interesting.
Yeah.
They brought in 77 Justin Keeley, who will snap to Seversyke. Here's a snap, and now a loose football. Yep. Seversyke is hit and driven down back at the 38-yard line, a loss of 5, and that was a backup center, Justin Keeley, who snapped the ball, and Seversyke couldn't get the handle on it.
Yeah, and it went. The snap wasn't terrible, but if you noted the velocity of that snap, it got to him a lot quicker, and that offense and how they run their timing and everything else, that exchange is so critical.
So 4th and 10, Centennial. The ball on the Dowling 37. Punting unit coming in. Or is this the field goal unit? You never know with the Ankeny kickers.
Yeah.
And no, it's the punter. That's Knief. He's also the kicker. 6:50, the game clock running here in the fourth quarter. 4th and 10, Centennial. They'll be punting from the Dowling 37. Here's a snap. And Knief. A little high short kick. Fair catch signal for by Dowling's Thompson. That's Edward Thompson inside the 10-yard line, and that's where Dowling will take over 1st and 10 from right around the 8-yard line with 6:38 remaining. This has been a game of field position and everything we thought. Tied at 7. Let's go down to John Chido on the Shields sideline report. John?
Well, that was an interesting turn of events. You had blood on the football from the center who was bleeding, so they switched footballs out, and the center had to go out of the game, like you mentioned, and the jet motion got in the way of that snap and took the timing of it, and the quarterback dropped the football. And fortunate for Dowling Catholic, it was 3rd down, and Ankeny Centennial had a punt.
Yeah, they certainly did. It was blood on the football. That's why they exchanged. And now here is a handoff, and this is Jason Murray with it, trying to get outside as he runs right outside the right tackle and then extends it out beyond the hash mark to the numbers. And he's down at about the 13 for a gain of 4 to bring up 2nd down and 6 for the Maroons as they start on their own 9-yard line here, Matt.
Yeah, they tried to go to the outside there and sweep a little bit and got some motion and got Jason behind Ryan Bowles around the right side there.
So 2nd and 6 Dowling as we approach the 6-minute mark here in the third quarter. Ankeny has all 3 of their timeouts remaining. Dowling has 2 remaining. Back to throw Waters, fires a pass out, and it's caught. 1st down inside the 20, inside the 30, and that's Jack Lyman on a quick slant pattern. And Jack picks up the 1st down. Actually, it's Matt Stillwell with the catch as he and Lyman were split out wide to the left. 1st down Dowling.
Yeah, run a little play action out of the backfield there with Jason Murray and Stillwell coming across on the slant across the middle, and Waters hit him in stride.
20-yard gain, 1st down Dowling from their own 33-yard line. Here's Waters, hand off to Jason Murray, and he runs the package to the near side, down the near sideline, 40. He breaks his speed at the 30. And he's still on his feet, 20, carrying tacklers down to the 15-yard line. And what a backbreaker for Centennial as Jason Murray carries all the way down to the Centennial 15.
And here's the key for the Maroons. There is no laundry on the field.
I was just going to look up when you started talking. I said, Coach, there better not be any laundry out there because that'll be the second big play that the Maroons have been involved with. 1st down. Dowling at the 14-yard line. Hand off Murray again. They run the same play. He cuts it upfield outside right tackle down to the 10-yard line. And I'll tell you what, Maroons are getting a great push from their offensive line. We talked about Centennial. Ryan Bowles in the right tackle and Jesse Alger at right guard, and Greg Hagan, the center, open up a hole.
Yeah, they're really working that right side now. Ankeny, the left side of Ankeny's defensive front, the right side of the Maroons offense. And you know, in the couple series before this, they were kind of giving Jason a little bit of air, and you know, Tegan Johnson got some runs in that previous series, and you know, now late in the game, Jason Murray's got some gas in the tank.
Certainly does, and Murray on that last carry, first carry, 43 yards from the Dowling 33 down to the Centennial 14.
Looks like Coach Wilson's going to let the clock run down here and then call timeout.
We'll take a 1-minute break and be back. The score, Dowling 7, Ankeny Centennial 7. The Maroons will have a 2nd and 6 from the Centennial 10 when we return on Iowa Catholic Radio and the Central Iowa Sports Network.
You want to get stronger, faster, healthier. You want more. You want to be part of something bigger than yourself. A place for people of all ages, all walks of life, that provides opportunities for all to succeed. We do that. We're the why. Build more than muscle. Build a stronger community.
Schottenkirk Chevrolet's Power Price Truck and Crossover event featuring new 18 Silverado Double Cab LTs. Power lease, $259 per month lease.
Power price, $32,490.
New 18 Silverado Crew Cabs. Power lease, $429 per month lease.
Power price, $36,490.
Over 170 Traverse, Equinox, and Trax available. With 12 going on 13 years of year-over-year sales records, Schottenkirk knows how to sell Chevys. Schottenkirk Chevy, Waukee. Chevy, find new roads. WaukeeChevy.com.
So that is Ibach in there. And we're back here at Valley Stadium. Out of the timeout, it's 2nd down and 6 for Dowling. The Maroons can get a first down inside the 5. Line of scrimmage is the Centennial 10. We're tied at 7, Dowling and Centennial. And here's a read option. Handoff goes to Murray, and he's stacked up maybe a yard down to the, well, they're going to mark him at the line of scrimmage for no gain. Good job up front by Centennial. Those guys have been there all night. Jaden Cooper, Kyle Gustafson, Lane Prusner, a two-way player, number 52 at nose tackle, and Scott Daup, the outstanding linebacker, man.
Logan Neals right there was the linebacker that came and put the stop to finish that run for Jason Murray on that play.
So Murray got loose for a 43-yard run after Stillwell. Matt Stillwell caught a pass for 17, back-to-back first downs, and now Centennial's defense is stiffening. Handoff Murray, right side, makes a move inside the 5, still on his feet, and he's near a first down. He's got the first down. They mark him down at the 3 on a 7-yard run by Jason Murray.
Outstanding design in that play. He had 3 linemen, and Jason did a really good job, and it shows maturity of that young man at the backfield there as he waited for his lineman to catch up to him and then cut back in behind him to get the first down.
And Matt, you see that a lot with running backs. You know, they're so good, and Jason is one and very talented, but they sometimes don't have the patience to wait and trust their linemen. Jason did there.
Yeah, that's a great point, Mark.
All right, 1st and goal, Maroons. The line of scrimmage is the Centennial 3-yard line. Pistol formation. Tegan Johnson along with Murray in there. Handoff to Murray, follows Tegan, and he gets down to the 2-yard line for a gain of 1 and bring up 2nd and goal from the 2 for the Maroons.
Yeah, the number 52, Lane Prusner, on the stop there for the Jags on that play, and really trying to push that middle of that line of scrimmage for the Maroons right there. It'll be interesting to see if we try to go some misdirection to the outside here on the edge. But Coach Wilson's found something on the right side of our line and on the narrow side of the field, and we'll see if he takes advantage of it again.
And Dowling taking its time. They're getting that play clock to wind down under 20 seconds. Maroons in no hurry here. Under 3 minutes remaining in the 4th quarter. Dowling and Centennial tied at 7. Number 4 Maroons, number 5 Jaguars. Handoff to Murray, and now we've got a stoppage of play.
We were bouncing there a little bit maybe. This one might be on us. Legal motion up front.
It could be, or it could be somebody in the neutral zone. Official now will get the call from our referee. Ball start on Dowling Catholic. Let's go down to our Shield sideline reporter, John Chowder. You're right down there near the line of scrimmage. The ball would move back to the 8-yard line on that penalty against Dowling.
Yeah, they got Dowling Catholic for a false start there, Mark. We weren't set prior to the snap of the ball.
So that'll move the ball back to the 7-yard line on the penalty by the Maroons. 2nd and goal from the 7, and they give to Murray. He's trying to find a hole, and he loses yardage back to the 8-yard line. He turned the corner, and there was a big old linebacker right there at the corner for Centennial, and he kind of stuffed the play, and that was Lane Prusner, and he's slow getting up.
They're going to call a timeout here. Is this a timeout by Centennial?
And if it is, we'll keep it here. We'll keep it here. It'll be 3rd and goal from the 8. 2:30 remaining, 4th quarter.
First, I thought you were going to give one of them water timeouts that you were talking about, but I don't think.
No, usually they haven't done that yet. It's a very warm night. One of the Maroons right now are in the Bozen the Flourish red zone. Whatever your message may be, say more with Bozen at online at bozen.com and 515-244-ROSE. 515-244-7673. Bozen makes the moment mean more. A shout out right now when I'm thinking of flowers, something I have to do tomorrow. My wife and I have our anniversary Sunday.
Oh,
and she's home with my daughter. I think they may, I don't know if they tried to come tonight or not. They've been at most of the games. And so shout out to my wife, Mary, and we celebrate our anniversary on Sunday. Start out by going to Mass at Holy Trinity. You're invited. You and Lisa can come.
There you go.
All right.
That's good. I've met your wife, so you've only been married, what, about 15 years?
Yeah, 12 years. Yeah. Probably seems like 20 to her, but 12 years.
12 years.
Yes, indeed. All right. Maroons now break the huddle. Or actually come out of the timeout. 3 receivers left, 1 to the right. And Murray in the backfield. And now Waters with the direct snap. He's going to follow Murray, and he's down to the 4-yard line, but a penalty flag out right as he turned the corner. And the Maroons may be guilty of a hold. They threw it right at Jesse Alger, and it'll back up the Maroons.
And this is going to be interesting to see what Ankeny Centennial is going to want to do, if they're going to take that penalty or not.
Oh, they're going to put Dowling back, as Maroons have not. I don't think they've made a field goal this year. So
yeah, but I think, over looking at what's transpired and we have our snapper back, I think Coach Wilson's probably a little more confident at this point in that group.
Let's go down to the Dowling sideline before this play, and John Schott will give us an update.
Yeah, once again, Jesse Belcher got with the hold there. He lost tracking, ended up tackling the Ankeny defender and put it back Dowling back 10 yards. Now we got another timeout by Ankeny Centennial.
We'll take a 1-minute break and return. Tied at 7, Dowling and Ankeny Centennial with 2:20 remaining in the fourth quarter on Iowa Catholic Radio and the Central Iowa Sports Network.
Miss your hometown clothing store? The one that had it all? Everything to get the work done, all in one place? G&L Clothing is your hometown Iowa store. Stop in and see us, or we're only a click or phone call away. Family owned for nearly a century. G&L Clothing, 1801 Ingersoll, Des Moines.
G&L Clothing, beside your style.
Taco, yeah, even veggie and more. All of them piled high with the best toppings and 100% real cheese. Treat yourself special. Order specialty pizzas from Godfather's Pizza. The other guys, they think they know what special means. At Godfather's Pizza, we do special, and we do it.
And we're back here at Valley Stadium. Maroons now with a quick handoff on 3rd and 18. Dowling keeps the ball on the ground. They hand it off to Murray, and he gets a couple yards, and that's about it, as he's tackled right at the 18-yard line, and it'll bring up 4th down and decision time for the Maroons here, Matt Maindring.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see where Coach Wilson sits with his field goal unit at this point, and of course, is it 3rd and 8? It's 3rd. No, it is 4th down.
4th down.
They switched it late.
4th and goal from the 18.
Yep. And Ankeny Centennial blitzed off the edge on that play and sensed run, and they forced the issue there from the corner and got the tackle on Jason Murray in the backfield.
All right, let's go down to our Shield sideline reporter. We'll keep it here. A timeout on the field. Centennial has just used their last timeout. Dowling has 2 left. 2:12 remaining. 4th and goal from the 18 for Dowling, and decision time here, John.
Yeah, it definitely is, and they're going to send out the field goal unit to attempt this field goal. And Ankeny Centennial burned their last timeout. They want to save every minute because they're not an explosive offense that is big play. They're going to need 2:12 to go down the field. But here comes the kick.
All right, Dowling will attempt a field goal, a 35-yard field goal from the right hash. Maroons going towards the south end zone. And now Prey puts it down. Bomber's kick is high enough. Is it long enough? And it is no good, off to the left. It just missed to the left.
And that wasn't Baumler. That was Drew Peterson that kicked that.
No wonder the ball was high in the air, because Carter's kick would have probably landed in the next parking lot.
I think
Peterson kicked it high and wide.
I see Baumler on the sideline with an ice pack on his shoulder, and I wonder if he got hurt on that block punt when he had to make that tackle.
So now Centennial will take over in high school football. Back to the 20-yard line it goes. So it's just like a touchback.
Right.
And Centennial now with no timeouts and 2:06 remaining, Matt.
Yeah, 2:06 remaining for Centennial, and we have 2 timeouts. Dowling has 2 timeouts left, so it'll be interesting to see how this plays out.
All right, here is Seversyke in at quarterback. He's went the distance, and the give is to the tailback that time, Avery Gates, and he's loose in the secondary. Takes it from his 20, still on his feet. They're going to catch him inside the 20, inside the 10-5. Touchdown, Avery Gates. One last gasp by Dowling, and Thompson couldn't catch him, and a touchdown by Centennial. Unbelievable. Quentin Wellmaker was the last man for the Maroons wearing number 9, and Gates goes 80 yards.
Wow. And it's one of those things, we talk about assignment football, and one breakdown against that offense, and then Gates gets in the open there, and it happens.
Well, the good news is for the Maroons, 1:52 remaining, and 2 of their 3 timeouts Dowling has. Extra point by Knief, and the holder is Keaton Gray, number 15, and Trey Morris with the snap. Ball is down, and the extra point is up, and it is good. So Centennial takes its first lead of the night. Minute 52 remaining here in the fourth quarter. It's 14-7 Centennial. Back after these messages here on Iowa Catholic Radio and the Central Iowa Sports Network.
Day will bring, but some things are certain. The sun will rise, and your lights will go on. That's because at Mid-American Energy, we're obsessively, relentlessly committed to providing you energy when and where you need it, to connecting with you and keeping our communities safe and strong. Because the most important thing we put our energy into is you. We're obsessively...
Why do I look for the seal? It's about trust. Whether I'm buying a car, hiring a contractor, finding a tax preparer, or an honest mechanic, the Better Business Bureau seal means this business meets high standards. When I see the seal, I know I'll get what I pay for. No more taking chances and no more worries. And I feel good about supporting local.
And we're back here at Valley Stadium on the kickoff. Jason Murray on the return for Dowling, and he gets it across the 25, up near the 28-yard line. But Dowling now in a difficult situation, down 14-7 to Centennial after Gates' 80-yard run for a touchdown. Let's go down to the Dowling sideline. And John Child, the Maroons are backs against the wall now.
Yes, they are. You know, take back everything I said. I said Ankeny is going to need all 2 minutes and 12 seconds, and then they go one play, 80 yards for a touchdown.
Line of scrimmage is the 28. Back to throw is Waters. Fires the ball downfield. He overthrew his intended receiver. Incomplete, and that was the Edward Thompson wearing number 8.
Underneath on an out pattern, and Zach just a little bit high for Edward to get his hands on it.
All right, 2nd and 10 Maroons. The ball on their own 28-yard line. Minute 41 remaining. Waters back to throw. Fires it out, and the pass is caught. And did he get out of bounds? Yes, he did. That was the receiver that time for the Maroons, Connor Eibach, with the catch, number 26.
Yeah, quick little curl pattern there, running their basically a 2-minute offense right now. Quick hitters, 3rd and short.
7-yard gain. It's 3rd and 3 now for the Maroons. Waters with the snap out of the shotgun, fires it near side. Eibach with the catch. And they're going to give him the first down right at the 40-yard line. Needed to get to the 38, and he got a few more yards. Pick up a 5.
Yeah, same thing again, where they were running that little quick out at the split end position. Yeah, keep an eye on it here. Number 26, Corey Prang for Centennial, got a little bit of a cramp in his calf.
And he's got one of the outside receivers to cover. Back to throw is Waters. Now he's being rushed and still on his feet, and he goes down as Zach Waters tackled back, and they're going to move it back to the 38-yard line, loss of 2. It'll bring up 2nd and 12 for the Maroons.
And they're not going to burn a timeout here. They're going to go ahead and get lined up right away and run the next play.
That's the 4th sack tonight for the Ankeny defense. Back to throw Waters. Fires the near side. Eibach with the catch. Out of bounds around the 44-yard line. Pick up a 6. So Maroons just running that.
Going to keep running that play. As
square out, yep.
Yeah, as long as they keep giving him 5 yards, he's going to keep throwing it. On the short side of the field, so it's a short throw for the quarterback. And only takes a couple seconds off the clock, and you're out of bounds.
Yep, Thompson and Eibach are the receivers to the right of the formation for Dowling. 2 receivers to the left, and Murray in the backfield. Here's Waters back throw, fires it out, caught by Murray, makes a move to 45, still on his feet, and he's going to be hit and driven down. They'll give him forward progress for a yard up to the 45, and it'll bring up 3rd down for the Maroons at 53 seconds remaining.
Now you get a 4th and 5 situation, no timeout. And they're going to go ahead and run a play here.
Dowling now, yeah, they're letting the clock run. 2 timeouts left. Back to throw. Waters fires the ball out. The pass is...
I think it's caught.
Caught! First down Maroons to the 46 of Ankeny Centennial.
I thought the Ankeny Centennial got a hand on that play, and Jack Lyman brings it in, and we got 39.4 seconds left, and the ball at the 46.
Lyman with a 9-yard reception. Dowling with 2 receivers. Back to throw. They fire it out left side. It is out of bounds and incomplete. Lyman with the catch, and they're really out of bounds. That'll bring up 2nd and 10 from the 46-yard line of Ankeny Centennial.
A lot of contact out there on the edge of the field, and you know they've been running those quick hitches, And the defender and the ball got there about the same time that time.
36 seconds remaining. 2nd and 10, Centennial. They lead it 14-7 over Dowling. Here's the snap. Waters back to throw. Looks to the sideline. The pass is caught. Out of bounds, Lyman. And he'll stop the clock with 32 seconds remaining. See how far downfield.
Keep working that edge. And we got about a 3rd and 4. 3rd and 3, long 3.
7-yard gain for Lyman.
And still 2 timeouts.
2 receivers on each side of the football. Here's Waters back to throw. Swing pass out. Caught by Thompson. Can't get outside the numbers. Breaks a tackle at the 33, and he's finally driven down. They'll have to stop the clock here on the first down.
First down, so Thompson did a really good job, really nice job of eluding 2 defenders there. And we're able to get the clock stopped while they get the ball set.
Gain of 6 for Thompson. Edward with the big catch. Clock running, 24 seconds remaining. Runs the 1st and 10 at the 33 of Centennial. Back to throw over the middle, and the pass incomplete by Lyman, and he had some green grass / turf in front of him.
Yeah.
Incomplete.
He ran that slant across there. Now, Ankeny's playing 3 deep, so he wouldn't have made it to the end zone, but he would have got half of the distance there on that and would have had the ball at the 15-yard line. I think he might have taken his eye off the ball there for a second.
18 seconds remaining, 2nd and 10, Dowling. Line of scrimmage to Centennial 33. Centennial leads it 14-7 over Dowling on an 80-yard touchdown run about a minute ago. Back to throw is Waters. He's hit, and the pass is incomplete. He's hit as he threw it, and knifing in there from Centennial, the linebacker, number 46, Lucas Pieper, breaks it up.
Yeah, they had nice pressure there. Ankeny right now is only rushing 3 guys. They're rushing 3 guys, got 8 guys in coverage. And they were able to get pressure there. Lucas Pieper did a heck of a job from that edge.
All right, 3rd and 10, Dowling. Line of scrimmage, the Centennial 32-yard line. Here's the snap. 2 receivers each side. Back to throw. Waters throws near side. The pass is incomplete. Tried to hit Eibach, and he was well covered that time by the Centennial defense as number 3, Liam Murphy, broke it up.
Now you get 4th and 10, and one thing about, well, it doesn't really matter right here because the first down would stop it anyway. You got 2 timeouts, 10 seconds to go, so you can use the whole field.
Well, the Maroons are not going to use their timeouts. They want to make sure Ankeny can't sub their defense out. 4th and 10, here's the ball game for Dowling. Back to throw is Waters. Flushed in the pocket, rolls to his right, throws to the end zone, lobs it in the air, and he overthrew everybody, incomplete. And Centennial, with 2.9 seconds, is going to win this 14-7 over Dowling Catholic. The first team that Centennial has knocked off this year in the top 10, and it's the Maroons. And you got to hand it to the veteran coach, Jerry Pizzetti, and his staff, Ryan, his son. They have come from behind to win it, and you can hear the coaches down the other end of our booth here celebrating as they should.
Defensively, Ankeny Centennial played a whale of a ball game and really forced us into situations, long fields, and again, the little bit from this team that has shown is we have a tendency to make an error in those critical situations.
And Seaver cycle kneel down, that'll do it. Final score, Ankeny Centennial 14, Dowling Catholic 7. As number 5 knocks off number 4, the Maroons' record now falls to 2-2, and they start district play next week as they host the other team from Ankeny, the Hawks, next Friday night. And for Centennial, they'll be home next Friday night, and they'll open up district play against Marshalltown. What a game it was.
What a game it was. Centennial didn't turn the ball over, did they? I don't think they had any turnovers tonight.
We did not force a turnover.
And, they were able to play their style of football game and control it, and then got the one big play when they needed it.
Final score, Centennial knocking off Dowling's 14-7 here at Valley Stadium on Dowling's Homecoming and Athletic Hall of Fame. We're going to take a break, come back with the post-game show. 2 teams out in the field right now shaking hands. A final. Congratulations to head coach Jerry Pizzetti and the Centennial Jaguars as they defeat Dowling 14-7. A come-from-behind victory. They score with a minute 52 remaining in the 4th quarter on an 80-yard run by Avery Gates, and that's enough to knock off Dowling. We'll be back with the post-game show following these messages here on Iowa Catholic Radio and the Central Iowa Sports Network.
Over the years, and so have we. At Brick Gentry Law, your success is something that we create together. Thank you for making us a part of your community. Thank you for 50 years. Building a strong community.
We add the T. There's a Godfather specialty pizza with your name on it. classic combo, all meat combo, hot stuff, taco, yeah, even veggie and more. All of them piled high with the best toppings and 100% real cheese. Treat yourself special. Order specialty pizzas from Godfather's Pizza.
Every month or so, there's another story in the media about when and how often we need to get our mammograms. Kind of confusing. When this happens, I like to consult with experts. So I called Iowa Radiology. They recommend women get an annual mammogram starting at age 40. They know that it's the best way to detect cancers early and save lives. And that's good enough for me. Visit iowaradiology.com or call to schedule your mammogram. Iowa Radiology.
At your service. We might not always know what the day will bring, but some things are certain. The sun will rise and your lights will go on. That's because at MidAmerican Energy, we're obsessively, relentlessly committed to providing you energy when and where you need it, to connecting with you and keeping our communities safe and strong. Because the most important thing we put our energy into is you. We're obsessively, relentlessly at your...
Here's to everyone who believes in competition and good sportsmanship, who knows it's not about the trophies or the medals, but rather the lessons learned. For those who understand, it's not whether you win or lose, just that you give your best. So go ahead, lace them up, take the field, have fun, and play. For the experience, for the memories, for the love of the game.
Miss your hometown clothing store.
Back to the post-game show here on Iowa Catholic Radio. Final score tonight, Ankeny Centennial comes from behind and defeats Dowling Catholic 14-7 here at Valley Stadium. Alongside Matt Maindring, I'm Mark Amadale. We'll get to John Chido down on the field. He'll have an interview with head coach Tom Wilson and maybe a player or two following Centennial's win over Dowling. Centennial now moves to 4-0 in district play. They start, or in non-district play, they begin district play next week as they host Marshalltown. For Dowling, they go in with a record of 2-2, and the Maroons will host Ankeny, the Ankeny Hawks, next Friday night right here at Valley Stadium. And Matt, as we take a look at the final game statistics in this contest, what a game it was back and forth. Dowling with 294 yards of total offense. Centennial with 215. You can throw that out the window because of the one big play with 1:52 left in the contest, and Avery Gates' 80-yard run for Centennial to win it.
You know, you go the whole game, and the defense does just a great job with no breakdowns and kept stuffing and kept stuffing the gaps up front. And Gates, to his credit, you know, and Ankeny Centennial, they do what they do, and they just keep plugging away, and eventually they're going to pop a crease and get a big play, and they were able to do that tonight. Gates ran hard, and you know, you got to tip your hats. Ankeny Centennial, they did an outstanding job.
And that was after Dowling missed a field goal, just a little bit left. The starting kicker for the Maroons injured, and the backup kicker just missed it just barely to the left. It would have given Dowling a lead there of 10-7, but that was not. Centennial took over, and in high school football, you put the ball on the 20-yard line, and Gates one play 80 yards following the missed field goal. So a game of opportunities also.
Yeah, you know, and their only score came from our block punt, you know, where which set them up, and it is a game of opportunities. And as you said, as the broadcast was going on, the only thing good about that 80-yard run is it gave us time to make something, try to make something happen at the end of the football game.
Jason Murray had a pretty good kickoff return, and Dowling started the ball with the final drive with 2 timeouts left, but Centennial came up with some big plays. Let's take a look at some of the statistics before we go down to head coach Tom Wilson and Dowling. Okay, we'll go right down to John Chido right now, and Johnny, take it away as we go to our sideline reporter, John Chido. John?
Well, Coach, it was a hard-fought game defensively. Penalties in the end kind of put you out of field position. And in the first half, second half, seems like penalties, every time you had something going there, it kind of put you back. But kids fought hard. Your thoughts on the game tonight?
Well, I think everything you just said, you know, kind of sums it up. And we're not disciplined enough. And at the end of the day, that falls on the head coach. And it's like I told the kids, obviously I haven't done a good enough job, and we've got to be better. We're just not a great football team right now, but congratulations to Ankeny Centennial. You know, it looked like we were going to get going there in the first half on the first drive, and looked good doing it, and then weren't disciplined enough to sustain it.
Yeah, you know, he had some big runs where you're put back. Seemed like you're put back behind the chains a lot, and he had some big plays, and then pushed back again. good example down there by the goal line. You had first and goal there and then get put back and attempt the field goal there right before the change of possession.
Yeah, you're exactly right, and we found ourselves behind the chains a lot. Obviously, the big touchdown pass called back certainly hurts. We didn't match them at the line of scrimmage. That's what it came down to, and we got to do a better job of preparing them, obviously. And so we'll go back to the drawing board and see what we can make out of this team and do better.
Well, Coach, best of luck next week against Ankeny. Thank you very much.
Yep, thank you.
All right, John Chido on our Shields Sideline Report with head coach Tom Wilson of Dowling Catholic as Centennial defeats Dowling 14-7 here at Valley Stadium. Let's take a look at the game statistics. As we mentioned earlier, Dowling with 294 yards of total offense, Centennial with 215. Passing, the Maroons had 128 yards in the air, Centennial with 64 yards, and the Maroons rushed the ball for 166 yards on the ground, and Centennial 151 yards on the ground, but 80 of those on one play, Matt Maindring.
Yeah. You know, and you look at this and you say it's not too unbalanced, and it really isn't. You know, and Ankeny Centennial took advantage of the opportunities that were in front of them, and that's what wins you the ball game in these close things.
And according to the statistics here, there were no turnovers, but Dowling had their punt block, and Centennial goes 4 plays, 9 yards on their lone touchdown drive, and then they take advantage of a missed field goal by the Maroons and go 1 play, 80 yards. Game over, and left Dowling with about 1:52 to respond. Now,
and we should remember that those two things were kind of tied together.
Yes, they were.
It looked like the young Baumler kid was injured, must have been injured on the punt, on the
block
tackle,
punt, yep.
And he is the field goal kicker, and so then Drew Peterson comes in and makes his first attempt, probably of his career.
Yeah, because Drew missed last year due to an ACL injury, so you're exactly right. First downs in the ball game, Dowling with 15, Centennial with 9. Now individually, Zach Waters was 18 out of 26 passing, 128 yards, no touchdowns and no interceptions. And Garrett Seversike, the senior quarterback, 5 out of 8 passing, 64 yards for Centennial, no touchdowns and no interceptions. Jason Murray for Dowling, 30 carries, 151 yards, and the lone touchdown for the Maroons. And it was the Avery Gates, 9 carries, 108 yards, and 2 touchdowns to lead Centennial as the leading rusher for the Jaguars. Jack Lyman, 7 catches, 70 yards for Dowling, and Matt Stillwell, 2 catches for 26 yards for the Maroons. And Breeding, 1 catch for 33 yards to lead Centennial tonight. And so that's a look at some of the defensive, or some of the offense and defensive numbers. Again, total yardage, Dowling with 294 and Centennial with 215. So congratulations to the Jaguars and head coach Jerry Pizzetti. Boy, did he ever pull a rabbit out of his hat. 1 play, 80 yards, and game over. And Matt, you've been on the other side of some of those games. They're not fun.
They're not fun, and they're fun when you're standing on the other sideline. But you know, Ankeny Centennial, you just got to give them credit, and they can't say it enough. They're patient. They stay with what they do. They do it well. Nothing flashy, and no mistakes. And so then they're able to take opportunity, you know, make that opportunity, make the best of it. You know, as Coach said, it really showed in the line. You know, Coach Wilson said it showed in the line as the game went on, and they were able to stand toe-to-toe with us. And I'll be honest with you, I didn't think too many teams would be able to do that this year up front. Ankeny Centennial can.
Well, it's career win number 416 for the legendary coach Jerry Pizzetti in his 58th year of coaching, 51 total years at Ankeny, 6 years at Centennial, and then he was at 45 years at Ankeny High School. Yeah. Did you ever play him?
No.
Did you want to?
Too big school. No, I'll pass. I see this other guy here. We played against him, Dick Tye.
Dick Tye.
Yeah.
Dick Tye with 432 wins. So Coach Pizzetti now 16 wins from Tye, and the all-time winningest coach in Iowa, Dick Tye, who is retired now. So that might be sooner than we think. Maybe the next year and a half ago. Yeah, maybe next year and a half. We're going to take our final break and come back along with Matt Maindring, Mark Amadale. Final score: Ankeny Centennial knocks off 4th-ranked Dowling 14-7 here at Valley Stadium. We'll be back after these messages for final thoughts here on Iowa Catholic Radio and the Central Iowa Sports Network.
Doesn't happen overnight. It takes a vision for the future, the ability to turn a challenge into a success, and individuals who inspire new generations of growth. Greater Des Moines has done a lot of growing over the years, and so have we. At Brick Gentry Law, your success is something that we create together. Thank you for making us a part of your community. Thank you.
Want to get stronger, faster, healthier. You want more. You want to be part of something bigger than yourself. A place for people of all ages, all walks of life, that provides opportunities for all to succeed. We do that. We're the why. Build more than muscle. Build a stronger community.
Is your good health. Every month or so, there's another story in the media about when and how often we need to get our mammograms. Kind of confusing. When this happens, I like to consult with experts. So I called Iowa Radiology. They recommend women get an annual mammogram starting at age 40. They know that it's the best way to detect cancers early and save lives. And that's good enough for me. Visit iowaradiology.com or call to schedule your mammogram. Iowa Radiology, our focus is your good health.
All, everything to get the work done, all in one place. G&L Clothing is your hometown Iowa store. Stop in and see us, or we're only a click or phone call away. Family owned for nearly a century. G&L Clothing, 1801 Ingersoll, Des Moines.
G&L Clothing, your size, your style, we got it all.
Schottenkirk Chevrolet's Power Price Truck and Crossover event featuring new 18 Silverado double cab LTs. Power lease, $259 per month lease.
Power price, $32,490.
New 18 Silverado crew cabs.
Back to the post-game show here on Iowa Catholic Radio and the Central Iowa Sports Network as we simulcast tonight's game. And final score, Centennial of Ankeny knocks off Dowling 14-7. Mark Amadale joined by our sideline reporter who made it back up here, John Scheidel. That's a great smile on a warm night. And Matt Madering. And gentlemen, as we talk about this game and preview district opener next Friday, could you say stunned? Could you say, just heartbroken? If you're a Dowling fan, if you're an Ankeny Centennial fan, hey, we go 4-0 in the non-district. A lot of things, a lot of emotion out there. And Matt, I'll start with you, being the former coach.
Well, you're really looking at it's one game in a series, and and the way it's set up right now, you win your district, you're in. So you really change your focus now and look at. We've got these first 4 games out of the way, and now we just need to go focus on getting in the district and giving ourselves another chance. It isn't like we're miles away from the 2 teams that have defeated us at this point, and everybody's going to be knocking everybody off as the season goes. There's no one team that we've seen so far that's going to run away with anything, and so it's all about being ready and peaking at the right time of the year.
Dowling's lone touchdown came on their opening drive. Jason Murray on a 10-yard run. Maroons going 13 plays, 79 yards on the opening drive, led 7-0. Centennial answered back in the third quarter. Avery Gates on a 2-yard run capped off a 4-play, 9-yard drive after a block punt recovery by Centennial. And then the final play, the final score, Avery Gates on an 80-yard run following a Dowling missed field goal with 1:52 remaining. And Centennial wins it 14-7 over Dowling. John Chadi, you were on that Dowling sideline. I know not a lot of happy campers there, but a lot of ifs and ands. And maybe, as Coach Wilson said, corrections beginning next week with Ankeny.
Yeah, and the last thing Dowling needs to do is wonder if we could have done this or you should have done that. The Monday morning quarterback type deal. Now they need to stick together. They need to come together. They start a district play like Coach mentioned. You win your district, take care of yourself, and that's what Dowling needs to focus on. They need to come together. Leaders need to emerge and move forward. And nobody wants to lose, and we all get that as being coaches and players, and you just got to move forward, and it's on to Ankeny next week.
All right, we'll have that game right here on Iowa Catholic Radio and the Central Iowa Sports Network next week. Matt, John, thanks for your assistance tonight, and we'll thank our supporters as we close tonight. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you, Mark.
All right, and that's Matt Madering and my broadcast partner, John Scheidel. We want to thank both of them tonight, and that'll wrap up our broadcast here on Iowa Catholic Radio. I want to thank Athletic Director Tom Wilson from Dowling Catholic and head football coach at the Maroons. Our studio producer tonight for Iowa Catholic Radio, Brady Grimm, and our on-site director is Ruben Garza for the Central Iowa Sports Network. Our thanks to Clayton Sampson and Pete Tarpey from the CISN.TV crew. They did a great job tonight. We appreciate that. And we'd like to thank our halftime guests, of course, the Dowling Hall of Fame, and they've done a great job all season, and congratulations to them this year getting in the Hall of Fame, and we want to thank them for being part of our broadcast tonight. And that'll wrap it up. Our next broadcast will be next Friday, September 21st. Ankeny High School, Ankeny Hawks come to Dowling and play the Maroons here at Valley Stadium. Pre-game at 6:30, kickoff at 7. From our broadcast partners tonight, Matt Madering and John Scheidel, this is Mark Amadale for the Central Iowa Sports Network crew saying so long, and we'll talk to you next Friday night, and have a safe and a blessed faith-filled week.
Service. We might not always know what the day will bring, but some things are certain. The sun will rise and your lights will go on. That's because at Mid-American